Hello, I am Daniel Bloodworth. We are Easy Allies, and this is the Easy Allies podcast.
You got a weird energy already, man.
Yeah. This week, I'm joined by Michael Huber.
Yo, yo.
Isla Hank.
Yo, yo.
In the control room, we got Don Casanova.
Yo, yo, yo.
Gabby's jacked in watching over us. And on the feeds, we got Michael Damiani.
Someone I thought would reset the room was the Dallas Cowboys, but they decided not to. What a mistake.
Here we go.
We don't have time for a 20-minute fight about football right now, Damian.
And Brandon Jones is here. He's going to join us for the Indiana Jones and Xbox talk. And
Let's talk Xbox.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones.
Yo, 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 sports. Yo. Yo, sports.
Sports.
Friends, we're here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing. We just got our first look at that new Indiana Jones game during Xbox's second developer direct, along with Avowed, Hellblade 2, Visions of Mana, some other game, History Untold.
Some other game.
All right.
Huber and I have been playing the new roguelite mode in The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to get Don to talk about that Momodora game since he was playing it all last week during the episode.
Was he ever?
And we got that December sales report.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about Warframe.
Yeah.
Holiday
Am I?
sales report.
Well, now it's locked in. Before it was going to be, we might skip it, we might not. We'll find
Skip the
out.
Warframe.
Now it's on the rundown.
Listen, Warframe
on
is
the
surprisingly cool. That's all I need to say.
When's the cosplay?
Huh?
When are you cosplaying?
If I could
Oh,
afford
in
a
October.
cosplay of one of those sexy robots, I would do it.
Before we get started, we must answer the wrong question.
I thought it was going to be corrections.
I know. I'm still adjusting to the
Yeah, that's insane.
loss of corrections. When we host, we can bring it back.
for sure.
You can still leave corrections. They just won't be read here. So.
Just ignore them.
Well, I'll read them.
Well, Blood reads
Yeah.
them.
What can Sony do to get more subscribers to cancel PlayStation Plus?
Love it. Raise the price again.
Require you to buy proprietary storage devices to store all the
Yeah.
games on them.
Right.
And they are only sold by Sony for a ludicrous amount.
Move online multiplayer only to the top tier.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
Jones, Don?
Have the exclusive games just be like old Maddens, and then just have like that subsequent next year be like the next month.
The next
so it's
year's
just like,
Madden.
it's Madden 2008, and then like the next month is like Madden 2009, and then like 2010. It's like just Maddens.
I kind of love that. That's so good.
Don, you have any ideas?
I can't think of anything
All right,
more effective they could do. Maybe brick your system.
I say get rid of Essential.
Oh, yeah.
Just stop ransoming people for cloud saves and multiplayer.
Yeah.
That'll get a lot of cancellations right there.
I canceled and it feels good. I haven't missed it.
But you don't have cloud saves or multiplayer.
I don't need cloud saves.
Would you say it's
you're
liberating?
gonna
I got
need
mine.
it soon. But yeah.
Maybe one day, but not right now.
I move saves back and forth between the office and home enough that I feel like I need it.
Yep.
Can't get my hands on a portal. My in-bed Warframe device, can't find them. They're sold out everywhere.
Yeah. That question was submitted by Danky King. Thank you, Danky King.
Danky
Now
King.
let's talk about some games. First off, the reveal for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Look good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty great circle.
Yeah. Yeah, that circle's looking pretty good.
Coming from Machine Games,
Hell
makers
yeah.
of the most recent set of Wolfenstein games.
Many Wolfenstein games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like we were speculating beforehand if it was going to be third person or first person. I'm pretty pleasantly surprised by the first person because it's like they even said it in the dev diary, but it's just like that's what they're great at.
Right.
This game looks fun, dude. Action packed, the whips, this guy's broken nose, the villain looks great.
Yeah, battle
Dude.
damage on these character models.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked what they said about the villain. Because, like, villains in Indiana Jones saying he was a foil, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes to Professor Moriarty type level, Like that has me kind of excited that there might be someone who's like, I mean, he's had archaeological rivals before, but someone who's maybe like always one step ahead of him actually, and doesn't like fumble or doesn't like get like bogged down by like, you know, personal ties or something. Like someone who's just like, no, I'm gonna like, I will beat you, and like you actually think he might lose. Like last time I felt like that was as a kid seeing Last Crusade when he had to go through the 3 trials. I'm like, oh, as a kid, I'm like, he's gonna die. There's no way he's surviving that. And then like I got older, like, oh, Indy will never die. Like my uncle had to tell me, like, it's Indiana Jones. He does not die. Like, don't worry. And now it's like we know because of the timeline placements, but like I you don't know what's gonna happen to everyone else. You don't know if he like you know wins. Like he might live through this, obviously, but does he like succeed? You know, maybe something. This is one of his failures, perhaps.
In seeing this again with the villain with the broken nose, and I didn't notice before that Indiana Jones headbutts him. I hope that there's like a running gag that villain keeps getting hit in the face.
For sure.
Or keeps getting hit in the nose, like throughout the entire game.
More bandages to his nose.
Yeah, he just keeps getting his nose re-broken.
I like that you brought up the villain, Domino, because Machine Games, Wolfenstein games have really good villains. So knowing that, and then already seeing this guy in like 1 or 2 scenes already having like an impact, and the fact that they hyped him up, like he's gonna be a really good character for sure.
Also, we weren't sure before this went live, but a likeness of Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Decent visual likeness.
Oh yeah.
The voice, I could think of someone who they could have gotten that might do a better job.
We're a little biased.
Yeah,
We're a little biased.
But also,
I called that he was going to jump off a plane.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Jones.
Troy Baker not mentioned in the video at all.
At all.
Not mentioned like how they did. They showed them scanning the costume and the hat.
Yeah.
And they showed like the hat in 3D, and it's like, did you scan Harrison Ford or what are we? Was that interesting? Somebody
to keep the
reprising
focus
his
on Indiana
role?
Jones.
Were you nervous about that? You're like just didn't mention it. We're just like, wow, it's Indy. It was like, okay. It was strange, all the behind the scenes stuff, and they were just, no. It's like, did Troy mocap it? Did they? We saw everyone else's mocap studio. What you doing over there? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes the best answer is just don't mention it.
yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting because they did make a good point of showing all the mocap stuff.
Yeah.
And you know that he's done it before, so you would think that he would be in there doing stuff.
I think as you just wanted to focus on Indiana Jones, not Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect to anyone. If anyone other
that's
than
why it's
Harrison
also
Ford was
weird
reprising it,
that's who they went with.
yeah.
It's
But
like you got basically a celebrity game actor.
you do that down the line, but when you're introducing the game, this is Indiana
That's
Jones
a good point.
and
Like
nothing else.
I could definitely see a future dev diary being all about like our version of Indiana Jones, like bringing Indiana Jones into this 3D space. You know, like I could definitely see that as a separate featurette for sure.
Yeah.
I think first person Isla was a really good call, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. I think it's cool because it separates it from
Uncharted
Tomb Raider and
Tomb
Uncharted.
Raider, yeah.
It's its own thing.
But they did talk about you could see times when it does go
When it
in the
does.
third person
Yeah,
when you're
which
like
I like,
climbing
yeah.
a wall
Prime style,
or whatever.
Yeah.
like
I
Metroid
love
Prime,
that.
yeah.
That's a nice balance.
Were
I
you
really
actually in
appreciate that.
control? I don't think you were actually controlling those. There were just moments where I think it would just become cinematic when you do
They
an
said
action.
There's both.
in cinematics
there
and when
were?
you're doing like traversal stuff, so like climbing up a pipe is what they
Oh,
showed.
okay, yeah.
I imagine you're, holding up or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like you're controlling it, but
Okay.
I also like that the gun is rarely used from Indiana Jones in that trailer, just like the movies.
Well, and they said you have-
limited bullets.
you have your
Raiders.
choice. It's like Thief or Dishonored, where you
Yeah.
can do the stealth, you can go punches, you can go
Yeah.
whatever. You have choices,
So I hope bullets are like hard to come by.
Yeah.
I hope that another running gag,
Yeah.
empty gun all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, like in is that Last Crusade when he tries to do the bit again and he's out of bullets?
I think
or whatever?
Raiders, right? I
Yeah.
forget.
No, he
No,
does
he
the bit
originally
in
Raiders,
Raiders.
but in Last
Yeah.
Crusade he
And
tries
then
And
to
in Last
repeat it
Crusade
and
he
he's out.
tries to repeat it and he's out of
Whoa,
bullets.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, no. Temple of
He
Doom,
doesn't
right?
have a gun. Yeah,
Temple of
it's
Doom
one
he
of them.
tries to do it and he runs at them afterwards when he doesn't have it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
The whip is interesting because they talk about the press release whip cracking action at the heart of his gear. You can use it to distract, which we saw, just like cracking the whip and it like gets a guy's
Which
attention.
Don made the excellent point of like, you hear a whip crack,
yeah.
and you're like, "What the fuck was
yeah,
that?"
what was that?
That's more than a distraction.
Yeah,
That's like
right.
it's
Like,
not like a rock
this
ball.
barrel
Like, yo, who's
crack a
cracking a
whip right
whip?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like that's a very distinct noise. That's basically the
That's
same
right
as
in
saying
your
like
ear.
over here.
Yeah, he
It's also
cracked it
like,
like right
would
next
you-
to his right ear. And
Yeah.
like looked off in the right direction.
Yeah, he's deaf, and he just heard a
brings
whip crack.
Who brings a whip
Yeah.
to this stuff? So
Honestly.
you'd probably be like, "What the hell?"
Honestly.
It's like, oh, that's famous archaeologist Indiana Jones, I guess.
You can also use it to disarm enemies, which I love.
That's
Love
very
that.
cool.
Very cool.
I wonder if you can take their gun, like whip and. Like,
Well, I would have liked to see a little more of that. Maybe him like running out of
Yeah.
ammo and then throwing it, or like one turret. I don't remember if there was. Oh, he's in like the back of the plane, I think, in one shot.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, it would have been neat if you'd seen like a little more, like him like shooting a cannon or so, just some like, oh, that was fun, because there was a lot of item manipulation. There's a lot of puzzles and stuff. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
like systems that are unique to different situations, and it would have been nice to see like him like doing like an Ewok knocking over a bunch of logs or something, just some kind of like clever indie trick that's environmentally
Yeah.
based. You know?
Yeah, I wonder how the whip's going to be governed though. Like, you know, how whether it's AI programming to deal with it, like it gets more clever, or like can you just like really abuse it? Because like I'm sorry, like Huber, like I'm
Yeah.
in my head right now. I'm thinking
Whip
of
only
like
run.
Whip only
RE4
run.
style cheese. I'm going for their feet. Not like, you
Yep.
know, it's
Yeah.
like, and they showed tripping them,
Oh, yeah.
running up, and then meleeing them. I'm like,
Yeah.
everyone,
Yeah.
knee, whip their knee, trip them, run up, punch
Yeah.
them. It's like,
Gabby and
are they
I-
going to call out of guards to overwhelm
Nazi
you if you
knee
do
guards.
that? Like,
Yeah.
what's going to be the
Yeah.
consequence?
Gabby and I are already talking about our whips only glitchless all love scenes
Yeah.
run.
I assume when you whip someone that causes a ruckus, and I would assume because Wolfenstein can get
It's not a quiet weapon.
Wolfenstein can get insanely difficult. You go down quick in those games
Yeah.
from gunfire.
Surprised.
So I assume that'll
hope-
probably be similar here.
I guarantee, right, that when you die, there's like a snake, except it's Indy.
That'd be awesome.
I wonder if
Every
I
time
could
you
parry bullets with the whip.
That's a little much.
Yeah.
But
You can unlock that on the skill tree.
But I do wonder because they
Grab them
showed in there, that there was you could grab. There's a guy that he actually grabbed with the whip and pulled.
Yeah, I love that.
So I
Yeah,
wonder
trips.
like how do you like
Butcher
hold the
vibes.
button to grab versus like tap it to attack?
Probably the face buttons, I wonder.
Well, I
like
wonder,
maybe
yeah.
B is disarm and X is like attack,
Yeah.
Y is trip.
Or maybe
Something like that.
maybe it'll be like control, where like what you're focused on has like a light outline of like,
Right.
what you're gonna grab. It's like
bumper
what you're
that
about
brings up.
what you're about
That
to
could be a
whip will
good
have
way.
like a little outline or
But
something.
that's what I'm
like-
saying though, like the difference between grabbing someone and actually attacking them
Right.
with the
Holding
whip.
it's a good call,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I wonder if you just hold, as long as you hold on to it, then it'll pull.
But it's like, can you for traversal? I wonder how free that is, or if it's like you can only use it to get up like a very specific kind of ledge or whatever. You know, like the yellow
Probably
line, you know,
that.
classic thing.
Classic yellow
Or is
line.
it Spider-Man and you could just whip swing off almost anything? Like I wonder.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably the former, but who knows? It'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Probably pretty straightforward. I love the grapple
Yeah.
too. Love that's a very indie thing. Just grab the guy by the collar, pull him in, punch him, throw him
Yeah.
back. So like
Jones.
I like
Disguises.
there were no bullet sponging that I saw in the trailer, but like I imagine that's something you can do, like to just grab somebody,
Jones, will you be
shoot over
able
their shoulder.
will you be able to lose your hat and like have to pick it
Yeah.
up? Will that be a mechanic in the game?
You'll
get a
see,
score
like,
at the
where
end
it
of each
is.
mission if
Yeah.
you kept your
There's
hat.
detective mode, but just for the hat. Like you can just
Yeah.
see the hat through environments. Yeah, I'm trying to get it back.
I hope you can, because
Or there's like-
we saw the woman character whose name I've not remembered.
Gina?
Gina, that sounds right.
Oh,
It looked like she was dressed as a nun at some point, and you said disguise.
They had disguises.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm wondering
And
if
Indy was
if-
too. Indy
Yeah,
had like a
yeah,
cloak
Indy
on.
was. So I'm wondering if you can do the classic grab them by the collar, punch them out, and take their costume thing, Jones. Like I think that would be really
Oh
fun.
yeah, that'd be great.
I've gone and caught a sniffle. You know, they put on hats.
Yo,
You are a Scottish lord, and I. am
will there be a
Mickey
little
Mouse.
hint of Hitman in this then?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Punches and stuff?
were
the
talking
bodies.
about stealth, and they're hyping up in the press release as well.
Oh, and like how many times has he dressed up as a Nazi? Like,
Yeah.
like at least 2 of the 5
At
movies,
least twice, yeah.
or
What's the
3
press
movies,
release
depending on the
plug?
titles from this trailer are concerned.
I mean, I don't need to read out the whole thing, so I'm just
What are the
looking for
details?
highlights. What I'm wondering, will we have a tutorial for the whip where you actually like whip somebody with a towel in a locker room.
No, I think it's. Oh my god.
So I was thinking like bottles on top. You're like riding on a train
it's
and
gonna be
whipping
like a little,
bottles. or
like,
something.
I think there'll be an
Previous
animal.
mission thing, like
Yeah.
No, you don't think
I
it's
mean,
gonna be
Indiana
like,
Jones famously always starts at the end of another mission.
yeah, like we're gonna
The game will
totally
do that
get
for
that.
sure. The game's gonna
yeah,
do that.
absolutely.
Do you think it'll be
curious.
young Indiana Jones?
Ooh,
Like,
That'd be fun.
That'd be
to
kind
bounce
of
around,
kind of fun.
flashbacks
cool.
and stuff.
That'd be interesting. I doubt it, but it'd be interesting.
One of the only
It should
things
be
I
some-
don't
oh.
like about Wolfenstein is the way you level up. You have to do like weird tasks to level up.
Oh.
It's not straightforward. It's
Milestone
like get a
leveling.
certain amount of kills this way, or like use this gun and get a bunch of headshots, and it's just
Got
like
it.
kind of forces you to play a specific style if you want to like level up your character. So I'm hoping that all that is reworked. I don't even know if you level up in this game. Like, what's the deal with the treasure? Is there going to be like some sort of
Right.
economy with treasure there?
It would be cool if your
Yeah.
leveling up was actually just like you turned in that piece to a museum and got $1,000, and now you
Yeah.
can afford like a new thing. Like
Yeah.
that would be kind of interesting.
So I wonder if
If-
there will be
yeah.
that at all, or if you'll just have your toolkit and that'll be it.
Yeah.
If Brody's
Yeah.
in it, can we go to the museum? And if we find stuff,
There
can
will
we put
be.
it physically in the museum?
Yes,
Collect
dude.
it.
Go back,
Yes,
like,
Jones.
click on
Yes.
stuff and
Yeah.
read what it is.
Probably have.
Yes,
yeah.
dude.
Will there be a mission, an optional side mission, where Marcus Brody has gotten lost in his own museum and you have to find him?
You took the
It'll
words
be
right
an
out of my mouth.
achievement. It'll be an achievement.
You guide him back to the entrance.
Does anyone speak ancient Greek?
Understand a word I'm saying.
But they were hyping up like lots of secrets. They're like, if you look
Yeah.
around, you're gonna find more stuff. You're gonna find hidden puzzles. There's gonna be things
Dude.
to
We were-
dig out.
I can't remember if this was in the episode or not. We were talking about old Tomb Raider, and like, I remember loving the mansion vibes so much because it's like the off-mission stuff.
Yeah.
And Indiana Jones is so good with that in the movies, where it's like you see him being a professor, you see him in his office, you see him sneaking out the window like to
Love
avoid
that.
his
Right.
adoring students, you know.
And this
I
goes
wonder
into
in the
the
game
story
if
setup
you'll
here.
do that. Yeah.
It says,
It's
when a
got to.
break-in in the dead of night ends in a confrontation with a mysterious colossal man,
Tony Todd.
Whoa. Yeah.
Tony Todd.
So
Indy
cool.
must
There's
set
your
out to
tutorial. Because he
Yeah.
doesn't have his gun or anything, and so he's got to sneak
he's
back
at
to his
work.
office, get the whip,
Yeah.
and then he's got to stealth. So they teach you all that stuff.
And you
can
get 'em one
unlock
at a
the suit,
time, yeah.
so you can wear his like teacher outfit with the glasses if you want. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it says Indy must set out to discover the world-shattering secret behind the theft of a seemingly unimportant artifact.
Well, that's a cool setup.
Yeah,
That'll
That
be a
you're
first.
like, why is this important? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's usually chasing the Ark of the Goddamn Covenant or whatever. the Holy Grail. Like,
Yeah,
that thing's
it is.
worthless. That's actually a cool twist.
Well, yeah. It's interesting, but they're still like playing on the same tropes. Like he has to go to like the Vatican, so like it's implying like there's some like religious significance
Yeah.
behind it. So like we're sticking with the like Raiders and Last Crusade tropes. The last
Right.
Holy Grail. The
Yeah, I mean,
the
it's usually
Ark.
like themes
Yeah.
of Christianity and Nazism and
But
that
he's
kind
also
of
all
stuff.
over the place. He's Africa,
he's all over the place,
Himalayas,
yeah.
like other places.
which is
Yeah.
cool.
And then here's we didn't really talk about this yet. This is in terms of like the kind of like level design stuff. Players will experience a dynamic mix between linear, narrative-driven gameplay and open area maps.
Wolfenstein vibes.
As indie players can indulge their inner explorer and unearth a world of fascinating secrets, deadly traps, and fiendish puzzles, where anything could potentially hide the next piece of the mystery, or snakes. Why do you have to be snakes?
I'm looking forward to the puzzles. I said this in our reactions, but I really, really hope that you can hopefully you can turn it off, but I hope that the companion is not constantly giving you hints about the puzzle.
Oh yeah,
That drives me up the wall.
put a slider on it.
Yeah.
Well, that was
slider
one
on it.
question that I had was, did we see any cast members around him ever? Did we see any? We saw that
you could
one.
hear
the
Gail.
art.
What's her name?
Gina?
You could hear Gina's
Yeah.
voice in a couple of the gameplay segments. Like one of the puzzle ones, she was like,
yeah, you saw her there with him at just
Yeah.
that puzzle
Okay.
section. That was the only time.
Yeah.
I saw.
yeah. Otherwise, it was mostly enemies. So I don't know.
Yeah, that was one thing I think that I'm kind of taking from the Wolfenstein games too, because the casts are huge in those
Yeah.
games. So like I thought it was neat to see like the villain and this other gal, but I was like, I would love to see And we saw Brody, which was amazing.
I love
Short Round Jones.
But just
Yeah.
somebody,
Short round.
just a lot of even just because we see people for like a second sometimes that he's like, I work with this one guy and he's gonna fly me somewhere, and so like it'd be neat to. My God, if there was someone from Young Indiana Jones, I would flip out.
I do love the Indiana Jones's contacts. Yeah.
Yeah. So. And my mind is racing thinking about museum now, but like both Wolfenstein 1 and 2 had these great hubs you would come back to, and you would interact with all the characters and their stories would change, and you could kind of follow all of the missions that they were on. So like it'd be neat if there was not like a hub, but like there was a lot of talking with other characters, because if it's because they said they wanted to make it like the cinematic indie experience
area.
Yeah, so if like I would feel definitely more like indie if I could, go through some of those situations and not just like, okay, now I got to talk to this person, but like, give me a little freedom to explore those areas and maybe start up some conversations with people that are optional. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I also love that the trailer hyped up his fisticuffs.
Yeah.
Because Indiana Jones is a brawler. Yeah. And like that was the main vibe of this trailer, was just like punching people.
Yeah.
I like that he's a brawler, but he's not super good at it. So
He's just rough and tumble.
Totally ordinary guy. Yeah.
I hope the game kind of captures that. Like, I hope you're kind of like outmatched if
Yeah.
you try to fight.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the punching and the gunshot sound effects in the indie movies are like not realistic at all. They're just like
Not at all.
Just every time he punches somebody, it's just like a leather bag hitting a leather bag. It'd be neat if they kind of like lean into that a little bit.
That would be really good.
I mean, there was a Wilhelm scream in the trailers.
Yeah.
There was.
Yeah.
How many
I really
apple
appreciate that.
bites will be hidden in like different set? That's like famously in the
I
beginning of Raiders when he falls on that thing
Yeah.
that you can hear an apple bite.
I love the clumsy stealth. I love like the hammer. He just like grabs
Yeah,
like a blunt
throws
object
a
and
hammer.
hits a guy. And it'd be fun if like there's a little bit of that. So if like you're in the
Improvised
middle of
weapons.
a fight, you got low health, and you punch a guy, and you see somebody else, you can just like like I imagine that's kind of what the whip will be. But like it'd be fun if there are moments like some kills you're not like really proud of, but you're just like, well, I got through it. Like that to me is very indie. Like
They talked about that in Hellblade, where it's like they want you to feel like you barely got out of
Yeah.
every kerfuffle. Like that's how I want to feel as Indiana Jones. Like skin of your teeth all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
he's
at some
kind of a
point you get
klutz,
buried
like-
in the desert with your head sticking out. Yeah.
right.
he's a bit of a klutz, which I love.
So there should be some fun with that, or it'd be cool to like just when we think of characters like Batman or something, like what's it like to embody this character? Like that would make me feel like indie.
Yeah.
If I was able to, just kind of sloppily go around, and that was I thought the best example.
Jones.
Of that was just like grabbing a hammer and throwing it.
That press release, straight up, bullet point, you are Indiana Jones.
You be the Jones.
Stop it.
Become
Stop it.
I
Indiana
told you
Jones.
to piss him off. I told you.
You're not just playing Indiana Jones. You
told you.
are. It's like no, I'm playing Indiana Jones.
Hubert called.
I called this.
Hubert
I
called
called
that you
this.
would
Not
say
developing
exactly
technology.
that.
Stop. Just if you make a good indie game, that's enough. You don't have to like.
Jones, in the trailer, they have a moment that to me is like peak Indiana Jones. There's a moment where like two stone walls start opening up, and whoever
Right.
did the mocap nailed it, because he does the like awkward like oh like little sidestep thing. That to me is Indiana Jones. He's always like he figures things out, and then like he doesn't
like,
know the
surprised
result.
by it,
He doesn't
yeah.
know what the result will be, and he's like, oh crap, okay, all right, the floor's opening up, gotta move.
I know we
Huber, I
saw.
call you the day it comes out, Huber, and I'm like, Huber, I was. So you're like,
I have
You were
First
become
person immersion.
Indiana Jones.
I know we saw him in an airplane turret, but I would love it if there were other vehicle sections, because
Tanks.
he's
I'm
vehicle
sure.
yeah vehicles are such a big part of Indiana Jones.
Motorcycle, you got to be on a
Motorcycle, car, boat,
I'm
plane.
standing
Everything.
by my prediction that throughout the course of this game, you will jump off of every single means of conveyance. You will jump off.
Gotta
of
jump onto a
everything.
horse.
You will jump onto or off. He'll be like Buster Keaton in Girl Shy. He's going to jump off of every fucking. He's going to jump off a train, a tank, a motorcycle.
vehicles.
We've seen
I
it
never
in a
thought about
plane.
that. Like driving
Need
a
those.
car would seem like
Yeah.
something that would make sense.
Huber.
I wonder if they're saving that.
For sure.
We've talked a lot about Uncharted and Tomb Raider, but you know what? Like, especially from the description they gave.
Thief.
Thief is good, but you know what I'm thinking of in terms of, especially when you bring up all these variety.
Dishonored.
GoldenEye.
Ooh.
GoldenEye. Okay.
GoldenEye is what I'm thinking because it's like you have the more constrained interior levels and you have the bigger open like snow
see it.
levels.
I
You've
see
got
it.
the tank level. Like
I see it.
Yeah,
Okay. I see that. I like
train
that.
with the laser watch.
That is a really specific comparison that I can get behind, Bloodworth.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We support your comparison. Bob.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they had like harder difficulties that added objectives. like
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
I love that
And it
stuff.
would make sense.
More puzzles make the
What? That's what I was gonna say earlier. Like Silent
More
Hill
loot.
2. Like, give me a puzzle difficulty setting
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I always love that.
same.
hard.
Oh.
but like even stuff like this difficulty you've got to go through without non-lethal stuff.
Non-lethal,
those kind of
like-
things.
Whips only, man. I'm telling you.
Don't
Yeah.
break the treasure. Like when that character like drops the treasure, he's like, "Do you know how old that was?" I really like that. What do you think of that joke, Jones? Did that joke land for you?
Which one? Sorry, I was reading chat. One more time.
When one of the Nazis or something like drops a big vase and he's like, "Do you know how old that was?"
Yeah.
Right. What tripped me out was the like arch he's standing in looks exactly like the end of the ride at Disneyland. Like it almost looks like he's standing in the
Yeah.
exact same spot.
Well,
It's like, I wonder if
that's. I wonder how many nods there are going to be because it's like
Forbidden Eye.
I
nods,
gotta
have a rolling
Wolfenstein
boulder.
nods. How many Wolfenstein
Well,
Easter eggs are going to be in this?
At
jumping
least
onto
one
zeppelins
minimum.
and stuff. I'm like, okay, like I want this to be its own Indiana Jones adventure, though. I don't want it to just play the hits of all the other Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like I
Right.
hope that they. Like Indiana Jones himself is enough of an embodiment of that kind of stuff, and like you can get into similar scenarios, but like I don't want to do the exact tank sequence. I don't want to do this exact sequence. Like I don't need like a specific trial of, you know what I mean. Like,
I know what you mean.
I hope they don't just play the hits. I want it to be its
sure.
own thing.
The vibe looked like a good
great.
mix.
It looked great, yeah.
The vibe looked very original, but also like, oh, this
Some
is
nods,
familiar and some
yeah.
nods for sure.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has to be familiar. That was definitely where my expectations
Yeah.
were set going in, especially with the first look. It was like,
Yeah.
they're they don't want the conversation to be about some weird decision that they made. Like they definitely want it to be cozy.
Right.
And so, I like to a fault. Like I just felt like a lot of the dialogue that he was saying was very much like sometimes the civilizations leave behind things you can find, and there are booby traps. And I'm like, holy shit, go on. But, yeah, that was not surprising to me, or it felt indicative of like the overall project. It's like there's and I think there's a lot. They have a lot of time before this comes out. I think, and so they have more to show. So I think there's going to be some fun set piece stuff that they haven't.
What did they say for this one?
haven't
Fall?
gotten into. So before the end of the
no,
year.
this one is
2024.
Yeah, 2024. There's no
Okay.
window at all.
Might get
I doubt.
delayed.
Yeah, I doubt.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that I would see them delaying just to like make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Make sure
Right.
this thing is polished. We don't have any kind of issues where people are like waiting 2 weeks for a patch. Like hopefully like they really be like, no, we have to nail this thing day one.
Searching back through my mental database, like machine games are usually pretty solid.
Yeah.
release
Very
history,
legit.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
very
they don't
legit.
usually come out with buggy stuff.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah. I
Like
can't
some
think of
people
any.
didn't like the spin-off games, but
Loved
Sure,
it. I
but
got to play
that's
with
more just like
Grunbaum,
a-
and it was delightful. Also, very heavy on the lore. Don't skip it.
any thoughts on the time frame? You think that hits right between the Raiders and Last Crusade, 1937?
Seems right
Yeah,
because you can hit the Nazi vibe.
It's the right choice, I
It's
think.
not like super prequel, so it can still be connected to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just don't have to. You don't have to explain why you're not mentioning Crystal Skull.
I mean, not only that, I think
20 years before that.
Yeah, I think for
I
the
saw
duration,
Crystal
if they want to do a sequel to this,
You did?
have it keep going. I think
Right.
do everything before Last Crusade, because Last Crusade definitely
Yeah.
felt like if you see 4 and 5, and he's kind of alluding to like I don't do this much anymore. You get the vibe that like Last Crusade kind of ended that, like
Yeah.
or it was the
Yeah.
beginning of the end of his like archaeological
Career. For sure.
4 and
Jones.
5 he
It's a
does
good-
it
yeah,
because he
stuff
has
as much
to.
in this era as you can.
Yeah. The first 3 he's doing it because he kind of wants to. Yeah.
How great! Like these movies have insane mystical artifacts. How crazy are and Wolfenstein
What is
does
the
too.
Great Circle?
Like
Yeah.
how crazy are we gonna get in this game? You guys think?
Well, that would be a gravity gun kind of the situation. I would love some
yeah, Jones.
Assassin's Creed, something like where he
Damn.
gets the thing in the end, and like the last level is you like
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
Jones.
or like portals
I
or
love
like
you.
flight or something. Just some crazy thing that he was.
Don
like,
thinks
did
we're
that just
going to
happen? Like,
space.
Yeah.
Well, look, they don't
go to space.
accidentally say "and beyond."
Right.
They don't just accidentally say "and beyond." Where on Earth is "and beyond"? Nowhere.
Bed Bath.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good point. They've got big warehouses too, so that might be kind of cool.
or
They're
like
all going
he
out of
clones
business.
himself or something. Yeah, I'm never of the belief that you can get too crazy with indie because this is just it's especially near the end of the stories. Like they're all they should all go a
Yeah.
little nuts.
They need
It should
to
be
have
the
a
kind of
third
thing that
act.
like once he gets back to Brody and Brody's like, how'd it go? He's like, I don't have time. Brody to tell you.
I could
He's
see it
gonna be
being
like, I
some kind
met
of, like,
God.
Necropolis or something along those lines too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Death. Yeah, coming back from the dead. Because like they've dealt with immortality and they've dealt with like
Circle of Life.
infinite
Right.
knowledge. Yeah. Maybe it's like because it's like maybe you can like the game's been in the works long enough that maybe it is time travel because that kind of was the next obvious thing and like spoilers
Sure.
that happens, but like. Maybe that's what they were thinking for this game, and maybe they're just kind of sticking with it. But like,
Or like
I think that bringing something back from the dead would be, and it's archaeologically relevant. Like that could be it.
Well, he was talking about these different locations all being connected. That's what like the Great Circle is. So like, what if it's kind of like a
Yeah.
super highway of like teleportation or something? So maybe like the last level, you're like Himalayas, you're just jumping through all of these like
That's
portals and
cool.
stuff, or like
Yeah, like
Wait,
Matrix
get
2
weird.
or Matrix 3.
2.
2.
Two
That
does
part is sick.
Yeah. Opens the doors.
It opens the door and he's like,
shit.
"Hey,
Yeah,
side of a
Love
mountain."
that. Love
That shit rules.
breaks the door. Shit.
Now, one thing, business-wise, industry-wise,
Uh-oh.
this game was announced before the Microsoft
Right.
buyout. And
That's
now,
why you said.
Will it be
Yeah.
exclusive?
That's why I was like,
Yeah.
this is not going to be on PlayStation. You were like, oh, it was no PlayStation.
I was wondering, and they
was like,
confirmed
what the-
today, PC, Xbox, Game Pass.
Well, they said that.
Yeah.
Those are the platforms. They didn't. There's
They
no
m-
PlayStation on there.
Huge
And
exclusive.
they're not just doing the thing where it's like, this
Well,
is our direct.
that's what I
we're
thought it
showing-
could be, because for the direct
In
they
the
would never
direct.
say PlayStation.
Right, right.
But in the press
Yeah.
release from Bethesda, it doesn't
Oh,
say
wow.
PlayStation either. So it is
That's huge.
a real
big time.
exclusive.
Yeah,
Wow.
big time.
Good get,
it.
Microsoft.
Big time.
Fuck.
Get it.
I mean, I guess you buy a studio. You get comes with some benefits.
But that's the other thing too. Is it because it's a licensed game? Because it's a big
Right.
brand? Like
Sometimes the
like
licensee
MLB
won't, like,
forced
yeah.
PlayStation to put the show on other platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so-
Good comparison.
The
Yeah.
licensor, I mean. Yeah.
Sweet.
Shit.
Big win.
Yeah. I wonder if they had to pay more for because it is a licensed game. I wonder if you do pay more to make it exclusive.
Right.
And I mean, it's probably worth it. But yeah, like since this was announced, since it was in the works before their acquisition, was that built into the initial licensing deal, or did they renegotiate?
Yeah, they have
like,
to
They must have had to renegotiate.
redo
That's
that. They had
crazy.
to have, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And to be on Game Pass as well.
Right. Right.
Do you think Spielberg has seen the game?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like just visually.
Oh, that video's
Yeah.
coming. You know that video's
Yeah.
coming.
I need that video,
that's
John.
coming.
George
Yeah,
Lucas
I need
and,
it.
Studio.
and George Lucas,
Yeah,
Harrison
Luke-
Ford, high out of his mind, and
Yeah,
Spielberg.
and
like,
John
none of them
Williams.
want to be there.
Yeah. Get all four. of them.
I want them all. I want cameos from all of them.
Same. Same.
Please no. Please no.
I want some
immediately
like, Greek
thought.
statue of George Lucas like in the museum.
Okay, that I'll accept. I immediately
a
thought of
toga.
Ghostbusters 2016 when like all the OG characters, and that movie's got a lot of
Yeah.
flack, I think
Right.
unjustly, but like the way they handled the old character, like the old actors'
Right.
cameos, was not my favorite. Don't do that to.
One thing I'll say too that I like about my time spent at the Wolfenstein games is there were a lot of really pleasant surprises. There were a lot of really big plot shifts. That was like,
yeah.
whoa, I was
Yeah.
not expecting that, or like, whoa, that character's back, or like that character's dead, or like there's just a lot of big and a lot of those surprises like happening live, like in gameplay, like while I'm going through a mission. And so it's like for indie movies at least have like one or two of like, oh, the betrayal, or like, oh,
Right.
Yeah, the story.
this
that's
Is
the
the
thing.
not
lady
this
bad?
thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing is
it'd be cool to
Wolfenstein.
see
You
that.
think of like Doom and Wolfenstein as just like these shooters, but like holy shit, Wolfenstein's story is amazing.
Yeah,
So-
especially the first one was like, they're so surprised. I think it was the biggest surprise going through the story, being like, whoa, they're focusing on this so much. And like, I love all of these people. I want to hear what's going on with them. And I have like
dude.
predictions for like, oh, I see where your story's going. And then like a lot of times I didn't, so.
Yeah, you definitely don't predict some of that stuff in
Yeah.
Wolfenstein.
Well, plus this has been like this Todd Howard dream project for so long. It's like
Forever.
how much of the stuff has he been cooking up,
That
before
that was
passing
Him as
surprising.
producer too, I like. Just like in the
I was
producer
surprised
role.
I was surprised they gave him so much screen time, and like, I like that they used the font, the Raiders credits font.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that he got the like top billing like that, and I was like, okay.
It's his idea, I guess. Sounded like
Yeah.
I was like, this
Yeah,
whole game
absolutely.
was just in my head for years
Like,
and years, and I wanted to get it
Thanks,
out. It's like,
Todd.
whoa.
Fuck, looks
Yeah.
good.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
All right.
as I imagine we're transitioning blood into the rest of the direct, the passion for all of these projects, I really felt.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I definitely, I think coming away from this, like, yeah, I got expectations and some of the stuff I would want to see over other things, but like I certainly trust Machine Games. I think they're the right outfit for this, and it looks like they're having a good time with it. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's circle back to the beginning of this. First game we
Circle
saw
back.
was Avowed
Avowed.
from Obsidian.
Wow.
Yes.
And yeah, you guys have been having some mixed feelings.
I'm hyped
Yeah.
as hell.
I think that I think visually it looked really nice. Like the environments looked incredible.
Yeah.
The world looks really cool. I'm not super familiar with Pillars of Eternity, but like I know it's somehow tangentially related to that. But like it looks good. The things that give me pause a little bit, and I think I have a couple of qualifiers on both of them.
Yeah.
Where it was like the combat looks like Gabby and Don and I all independently kind of had the thought like it looks kind of like a VR game where like
Yeah,
things are
for
just
sure.
kind of standing there and you're doing your thing and then you move to the next thing and you do your thing. And like I can definitely envision a combat system that feels really active while you're playing it, that looks kind of stilted in a trailer like this, But like if you're doing all kinds of stuff in the back end and like manipulating menus that we weren't seeing or whatever, I could
Right.
see or doing, whatever it is. Like, maybe it just looks really stilted, but like the combat I thought looked a little stilted. And then the audio mixing, which obviously there's plenty of time to get that, but like the voices just didn't feel like they were sitting in the environments that they were in at
Right.
all. Like it sounded like a dude in his closet, which again, easily fixable before launch. It's just like
Yeah.
for the trailer, I would have expected, and I love Obsidian. I think they do great stuff, and so I don't know. I was a little surprised by that.
I
but-
could have gone for a little more weight to the combat, I think. I didn't feel the weight of it, but, first person melee, I think, is a really hard thing to get
It's hard to get
down.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of Dark Messiah of Might and Magic for sure as
Vermintide.
still Vermintide, yeah. But I mean, I think of Skyrim, and it's like one of the most successful games like of all time.
Right.
And already the combat in this like looks a little faster, a little smoother
Yeah.
than that. And this is definitely a game where you're gonna get immersed in, So I think
Yeah.
seeing the combat out of
It looks
context with like leveling up and
Yes.
RPG mechanics and choices.
and it looks very deliberate, the combat.
I
And
like the pace of it.
deliberate combat can look bad in a trailer and feel incredible in game.
Yeah.
And I assume that's probably what's happening here.
Yeah.
But initial blush, like first glance in the trailer, I was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be sick. I
And they
don't know.
talk about too, like the different options in terms of like the different weapon types and the fact that you could dual wield pistols or
Right,
dual wield
right.
wands.
Which is
Crazy.
cool, yeah.
And then we got the sword and board. We got a big axe. Got a lot of different things going on. There is a bow in there.
For Jones.
yeah. Yeah, it looked playful. It looked like the kind of thing where I can imagine people
And
having conversations.
Seeing it a
They're like,
second time
I
now,
did this crazy
it does
build on
feel
like hard
faster
mode.
and more active than the first impression I had. So like, maybe it's just a weird first impression thing that I had. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Jones and Damiani, what do you guys?
what?
Yeah.
Damiani, what do you take?
I thought the maybe I need to rewatch it again because I'm kind of with you, Isla. My first impression,
Okay.
and I wasn't watching in a reaction setting, so I was watching on like my nice big TV, and just like sitting down on the couch watching it, and I just thought there was something off about the first person combat. I mean, I understand it's like harder to do, but it was the one that specifically of casting like that spell on the ground and that thing just like falls over dead. It looked really weird to me, and I was like, all right, maybe, I mean, it's still got some time. Maybe they haven't like ironed out all like the animation kinks, but that was probably like the thing that like that's just the thing I always have to overcome in a lot of these first person games. I just don't generally like how the combat looks in first person. But I thought the environments were pretty like good looking. I don't think they like towards the end I started to feel the diversity a little bit more when I started to like zoom out a little bit more, like when they're asking, like one of the devs said like his favorite one was like this ruins and this is wasteland. I was like, oh, okay, like that's a nice shot. But like from first person, that's the thing, you have a hard time getting a sense of scale in first person, and this giant fantasy RPG, I think that was something that was like a little bit difficult to get across, and they did it by the end because I was a little concerned in like the early goings about these environments are nice, but like, are they really that big? Or they like how much variety is there? And then that they made a really big point to talk about like whether that person who was a coward or where you believe their story or not in the cave, like how that's really good. Like they're like, it felt like we're like back at Skyrim days, like at like Elder Scrolls. Like look what happens when you don't believe them and you go back to town. It's like I feel like so many games do this. Like I'm glad your game does this, but like, I don't know if it's going to be like has the impact you think it's going to have with people. Like,
it's like standard.
Damiani.
It's a standard feature.
Yeah,
it's also
Story
interesting,
can
like
go
seeing,
this way or this way.
Yeah,
seeing the B-roll right now. Like I didn't clock this while we were watching it before, but the camera is offset on dialogue scenes, so the character is looking over the shoulder of the camera, which means that your character presumably is standing off to the side of the camera. That kind of, if it's an RPG,
companions, so maybe
he's talking to a companion. But like in that conversation scene, it looks like he wasn't talking to you, the player, which is an interesting style choice in an immersive RPG. Mm-hmm. Jones, what do you think?
I think it's a pretty game. I think it looks like something you could have a lot of fun with. For like we were saying, the rigidity of the combat. I think there's a lot of personal expression there, like the loadouts, so you can like swap really quickly between two completely different things. Like maybe not for the sake of like it being super gritty, powerful combat, but at least just being able to like, not just settle into one thing and do that ad nauseum, but like experiment with something else, because if I want to, I can just go back to what I'm comfortable with. I think for the demo, what was a little weird was like every time they brought something up, we kind of zoomed in right to that one instance and then zoomed out. So it was like, here's an example of talking, and it's like, what city is this guy in? What does anything around him look like? But it was just, nope, we're just talking to this guy. And then, okay, now we're just doing combat over here. And then, okay, now we'll do a little exploration, but over here. It would have been nice to see like kind of a through line of one of the because I don't have a sense of what it feels like to go through the game. It's like I know what all these elements look like on their own, but like I didn't really feel kind of a through line through all of those. And so I think that's kind of like what was missing from this, is really deciding,
I was kind of missing
is this
from
something
all
I want to
these
spend a lot of
except
time
in? Like we didn't see what it felt like to play. Certainly this or Hellblade.
Yeah.
I mean, Hellblade was like
gameplay of, but we'll get in a second.
Yeah, we'll get into. But yeah, I feel like Hellblade was sort of like this mix between. Yeah, you see walking shots, you see combat shots. You never see walking turning into combat, essentially.
Right.
It feels like they're hiding something. I don't know. It's weird, which might be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what's difficult with Avowed is...
Fucking incredible graphic, though, for the title screen.
Yeah.
Love it.
Too sick.
I love it.
The trouble with Avowed, I think, is just kind of like, when you're talking about like the choice and consequences and the dialogues, and it's like, there's so much of that. It's like, there's no good way to present that in a 10-minute slice.
You can't show a 20-hour payoff in a 5-minute video.
Right.
And like it's not a character action game, so it's like the combat is more than just what it looks and feels like. It's so much more. It's like, okay, I found this axe and then I leveled it up and like talked to this person that I found that enchanted it, or like, there's so many other things that can raise up mediocre combat to another level.
And that that's kind of what that's my hope, is like that it's, you feel personal and you feel in the world and you feel, the stakes, and you feel tied to these things. Because totally right. It gives things that weight, for sure.
I guess I just don't understand if like the combat's going to be mediocre, but like there's other things that are good about like the RPG systems and the narrative behind it. Why don't you just go for a different type of battle system? Like why not turn-based? Why not
Turn-based
isometric? Like why are you doing that then? Like what?
They're trying to get you to play it. They know you hate isometric.
Because when I think about Avowed, and I think for most people, when like that word pops up in just conversation, it's like, oh yeah, that game in the first person when you're slinging spells and stuff. It's like they've kind of gone out of their way to like make Avowed be that kind of in the public mindset. And so when they went into all the story stuff, it was like, well, yeah, I'm enjoying this, but I would kind of expect for you to have this. Like this seems kind of like par for the course. And so it's tough to kind of get a sense of like really what makes this unique, which is tough to sell in just this moment where you want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's also a tough sell if you haven't played Pillars of Eternity as well.
Right.
The
or
fact
is
that this,
it? Yeah, I don't know.
Or is
I
it?
mean, it feels removed from Pillars of Eternity, but at the same time, it's like, hey, this is part of this huge universe of games that we've made. Like, so I don't know. I think that's.
It's funny.
It's a tough sell, I feel like, for if you haven't ever played Pillars of
What do you
Eternity.
think if we see a town? We need to see a town, right? Like that's
Economy.
what it's like. Yeah. Well, not just the economy, but it's just like walking around and
People
seeing some place
and-
that's really populated with these.
Well, and
different-
that's the stuff I really liked in the Outer Worlds, was like the little towns and the hubs of people, right? Because like the dialogue and combat and that, felt a little, I was kind of like, what's really changed since New Vegas? And like, I love New Vegas, but like, Grounded and Pentiment are so out there and trying different fun, weird things, and seeing this today, the combat looks like a bit of a departure, but the dialogue certainly looks pretty similar to those older games.
Yeah.
Which is not, sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And the Outer Worlds had some great companions.
Oh, for
as
sure.
Well, too,
Yeah. But like, not really a criticism, but I'm just saying like, I expected this to kind of go a little farther in a direction than it kind of did, Yeah. But again, I think it'll probably be pretty good. I don't know. Like, I always want every game to be good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the other thing too, is this will be really interesting to see how it turns out, because in the past, I've always felt like Obsidian's had that sort of like weird, redheaded stepchild thing. I was like, well, they could do really great stuff, but they don't have the budget to do the really great stuff.
Right.
And I feel like this is the first game that they've had where it's like, oh yeah, they can do whatever the crap, like Microsoft just gives them, not quite a blank check, but they give them a full runway to do something that they have a vision for,
Right.
without having to make compromises or have to be like, think of like how much they got on Kickstarter or whatever else,
Right.
And like
Yeah.
even Outer Worlds, like as great as that game was and the polish and production values it had, it was still like under Private Division. It was still a shorter game for this genre.
Yeah.
They're working on that sequel.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Outer Worlds 2 trailer.
Yes.
Teaser trailer. Where they just make fun of sequel announced trailers that have no information in them. That's funny.
So I think we do see, in terms of the visuals,
Oh, that's
step
I think
up
where
here, for
most
sure.
the step
Yeah.
up the step up is definitely in the environments and in the visuals. Like I think that all looks really good.
yeah.
And I liked when they were talking about biodiversity and like that kind of stuff. It was cool.
Cool. Next up, Hellblade 2. Huber, the final month. May 21st.
Yeah,
We're getting this.
I know, dude. I feel like they're just in a bad spot. Like, it's been too long. I don't know. Every time we see it, it's the same thing. I feel like I've seen this developer diary 15 times.
Because you
And it
have.
just really has
Yeah.
taken the wind out of the sails. And then I just heard too that it's like the same length as the first one.
Or shorter, yeah.
And it's like, that's a really short game. So we've waited like a
Wait, did they say the same length? They
yeah,
just,
similar length,
they said
comparable.
shorter.
And they
like,
said similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's out there now.
A shorter narrative game. I think they mean
Yeah.
like in the broad strokes
So
when they said
you know,
that.
length is not something I'm huge on. You know, games can be long or short, but
I think a game.
it's just another thing where it's like, okay, it's been so long. I started to, and from what we've seen, it's like I started to expect like a bigger epic. You know, the first one was like a small, intimate tale. All the vibes of Hellblade 2 are like bigger, more epic.
Yeah, the giant on the beach was huge.
Yeah, the saga, you know? So
Right.
I'm
Saga
just-
literally means lengthy poem.
yeah. So and it's just like everything looks great, and I'm sure when I sit down with it, all that's gonna get washed away. But like this lead up to the game has just been excruciating for like no reason. It didn't have to be like this. I don't know. Like
It's always so funny because like the thing we always say about this game is just show us the game. Just show us gameplay, just show us gameplay. But it's like they did 4 years ago with the giant on the beach and it still wasn't enough. And it makes me think / worry that like the game is medium paced walking and really controlled combat scenarios and then cutscenes. And like that's fine. I've loved plenty of games that have less interactivity than that, but like you know, it feels like they feel nervous to show us the game for some reason. Like I'm like just give it like this should have just been a 10-minute demo, right?
Well, I think, I mean,
Maybe
there's a couple of
should,
things
whatever, but
to
like-
that. Yeah, I mean, there could be a huge thing
Huge
that they're not
story
talking
spoiler?
about.
Yeah.
You know, and not even just story spoiler, but like something to do with the gameplay.
And if
as well.
if it's short, that's fine because I love the first one, and also I don't want this to become
There's a little
because
bit
I
of a
feel
puzzle
like
thing there.
I feel like this
I
is
think that's just
shaping
like a
up
door
to be
mode.
an Order 1886 situation, which I like this friggin' witch hunt on this game. Like I feel like I'm on the witch hunt side of like. Oh no! Like, the game's not long enough. Blah blah blah. It's taking too long. It's like, yo.
Discourse
Fuck.
is locked and loaded. Like,
I know.
like this game's gonna launch at like 9 p.m. By 3 a.m. People are gonna be like, "Beat it, sucked." And you're like,
Yep.
all right.
Yeah. Review bombing it, getting
I'm
refund.
so scared.
Yeah.
Which is why I
Interesting
think that,
thing sorry, Jones, just to throw into the mix because I think we missed it when we initially saw it that it is a digital release only for $50.
Yep.
50?
Only there's
That's an
just
interesting
Okay.
side point. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jones, go ahead.
That's such an interesting wrinkle, Don. Yeah.
Sorry about that, Jonesy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say hearing a game is short from like a direct is always interesting. Like, oh, you really
Yeah.
want us to know that? Like, you really want to get that out, just to make sure.
And it's like they're doing so many things that are so fucking great. Like
So
and so
great.
impressive. Like the dude talking about binaural audio, like that's so cool.
Them
And
singing
like
around the mic was
yeah,
so
and like
cool.
all of that is so cool. And the mocap is incredible. The face capture is incredible. The acting is really good. The fact that they do you know, engage sensitivity, you know, people knowledgeable in the field with the subject matter they're dealing with, and they talk to people who suffer from the same things that Senua does by and large, you know. Like that's really important stuff and really good stuff. And I do think that they're doing incredible work. And like the first game had banging sound design.
Incredible.
And like obviously the
Incredible.
graphics are phenomenal, you know.
I think it's just the marketing and the lead up and the wait. If you were to take Hellblade 2 and I had never seen anything about it and just like, here, play this game, incredible. Like, let's go. Freaking 8-hour game. Awesome. Excited. But I think it's just the way they've shown the game, talked about the game, and how long it's taken has just been it's been an exhausting trip.
Yeah.
So
I like the quote, "How can we make this fight different from the last fight?" I thought that was very honest. You know,
Yeah.
like, and I could kind of see the look on his face where he's like, "We get it." You know, like there's a lot of
Yeah,
like,
they were like,
the floor is
saving
orange,
combat.
shadows, fisticuffs. You know, it's just kind of like, you know, and that's what's tough is like they could do a montage of literally 10 completely different enemy types, and it kind of looks like the same fight. You know, because
It
it's
feels
just
the
all
same, yeah.
it's all very dark and shadowy, just lots of branches and mud, and it's kind of aesthetically the same thing.
But I mean,
over and
that's
over, but
that's exactly
go
the issue
through
with
the whole
these-
thing in 1 or 2 sittings, and then it's a completely different experience, a whole different conversation.
Totally.
Like showing
why
it
these
off
are
like
so
Hubert
weird,
said
though,
for the
'cause
10th
it's-
times. Like,
It's so much tell don't show, where it's like we make sure that every
right.
fight is very different, but every fight we see looks the same, just
Right,
kind of
yeah.
asset swapped.
Yeah.
I love seeing them talk about the capture space. They were so excited. They were like, "We're at a big space. Look at us. We're having fun." It's like their first day in the capture space, running around, and the one shot of the ladies like circling the mic. That was awesome.
Yeah,
It was so good.
because it's the binaural mic, so
Love
it's like
that.
on each
Yeah.
ear, so it's really
Love that.
cool. And normally you would fake that with like spatial audio like plugins and like panning and stuff, but the fact that they're recording it
Yeah.
just by physically walking around, I honestly think that's awesome.
Yeah, they were doing that with the first game as well.
Yeah.
But that was what's interesting
Just
here
for
is how
voices.
they're talking about they're now like doing the same thing with sound effects and with the music and all
Which
of
is
that.
really cool.
I'm also curious about what they're saying with Senwa coming more to grips with this and like essentially being able to work with it more
Yeah.
rather
She's
than
kind of
being an
accepted it,
antagonistic thing. And I'm curious how that's all going to play
like a
out.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also shout out. I really like the band Highly Young. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
They're
great
cool.
performance.
yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
Hashtag Game Awards.
despite all
Yeah.
of those criticisms, like them playing that music through this developer diary is like it was getting me hyped. Like,
Yeah,
I want to
oh,
play this
yeah.
game.
I know. I'm just so ready. And it's so
don't-
funny because it's such a like a introspective game.
Yeah.
It's like the first one says put on headphones. You put on headphones, like you're playing this game alone in the darkness with nobody else around. So it's
Honestly, I
like
think
definitely
that-
that kind of game. So
Yeah.
it's just like all these ways they've just been
I mean, I
as-
think we're being really harsh on it, and like I do think that it'll be a cool game, and I wonder if maybe you just hit the nail on the head with why they suck ass at showing this game. Maybe because the nature of the game is so like settle in.
it is.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, it is. And so it's like, how do you show that?
Yeah.
Like if something is impactful, like Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil anything, but like the thing in that game that makes it incredible, you couldn't put in a trailer.
Yeah.
And like that's a payoff of this whole thing, and like maybe there's stuff like that in this that makes it,
sure.
but you can't show it.
Yeah. I just think too much of a thing is too much of a thing. They just
Oh,
showed
for
it
sure.
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all.
We got this exact dev diary 7 times.
7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it may be partly on the Xbox side of things too. Is like, hey, we want to, we bought all these studios. We want to show
Right.
what they're doing, and so we saw this game way before we should have the first time
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And they announced it in what, like 2019, I feel like?
Yeah.
It was the Xbox reveal.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
means they're probably working on it like 2018. So it's been a long road, and COVID obviously.
That's
It's a
that's a
factor,
good
but
point. I think
still a
they
long
wanted
road.
to show it earlier than they should have.
Next up, we were wondering if there's going to be an extra thing, and there was.
Yeah.
Jolly, dude.
Yeah, Square Enix of all people, jumping into this thing. They had a fun little thing with the guest spot, almost hacking into the direct, and Visions of Mana,
Yeah.
looking really good. Damiani, you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I guess I'm not totally surprised. I mean, maybe the pick for the third-party showcase, but this does kind of track with the fact that at North American Fan Fest for Final Fantasy, they had Square Enix's new CEO come out with Phil Spencer and talk about a new strategic alliance.
Right.
That wasn't just for 14, but for like Square Enix in general, and that that Phil wanted to start bringing more Square Enix's games. To the point where, like, even right now, as far as we know, Rebirth supposedly only has like a 3-month window confirmed. It could be longer, but the only time frame that's been thrown out has been 3 months. So maybe those exclusivities are going out and showing that maybe some of their other releases are going to be on there. And this is also playing to like, we'll give you this platform, Square Enix. Like, we want to promote you as well as like Sony has been doing for you. So this kind of like made sense. Also, the Mana series is something that is a long-running series. Square Enix really it's important to them, and so getting like a big platform for this for like the newest one, it's probably the most ambitious one, I would say. So visually, it basically, to me, this is the best analogy I can think of. Very simple and plain. This to me is like what they did with Tales of Arise with
Tales
Bandai
of
Namco.
Arise
It looks like they
with
gave
Hunter.
Mana a budget They gave this series a budget finally, and you're getting a game that looks like it has a bit of a budget and is not a smaller, scaled down project.
Definitely. I got strong Tales of Arise vibes too.
I didn't
Damiani,
realize
for
there
sure.
were 17 of these things.
Yeah, but
There's
I was
one.
saying it's also
Or
been
something.
15 years since the last main console one.
Right.
And so that's the thing. Like, even when they pull the logos, like, if you're paying attention, it's like you start seeing the same names over again because they remade
Right.
those first three.
Right.
They did the collection,
Right.
you know. So it's like
Cheaters.
So there haven't really been 17.
I mean, it's weird. No, in some ways, yes and no, because those remakes are very different versions
yeah,
of the
for
game.
sure.
Like when they did Sword of Mana on the GBA, like that's a remake of the first game, but it's entirely different. It's just, you know, they just pulled up some of the same story cues and companions and stuff like that.
I loved how much this focused on monster design and like talking to that guy and like making, because you know I recognize a lot of these monsters from the older games, and it's just like that's so cute that they're like I don't know, I loved it.
Yeah, I
Also-
think
Sorry,
it's-
Ishii's leather jacket was out of control.
Oh my god, so
They're
good.
on point.
Was intense.
Yeah, they're on
Like,
point with that and the jewelry.
His whole vibe, dude.
Yeah.
Out of control with the gray slicked back hair, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So sick.
so
He's like,
cool.
I
What does
designed
this
these
man
cute
have to
things.
say?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I think that's one of the things. Yeah, sort of similar to like Dragon Quest or whatever. Like they've got their little iconic
Right.
little guys, the Rabbites and all of that.
Yeah, the little stacked up guy. Yeah, for sure.
I love the mounts that they introduced
Oh
here
my
too.
god.
That thing was
Picool or
awesome.
whatever?
The
The
Pickle.
pickle. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's a Yorkshire Terrier crossed with a pangolin
Yeah.
of all things. Like
And Anubis
amazing.
or something. Didn't they mention like
And Anubis vibes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, with
Like
hints of
they go in
Anubis.
hard when they give you their inspiration for those monster designs and the mount design. So that was
Yeah.
I mean, you got to see like this is kind of like a side of those teams over at Square Enix. Like, you know, you could see where the focus might be a little bit different from other developers. So it's kind of nice to see that. And again, like I thought it was just, you know, Square Enix has been doing a much better job of just giving their developers, you know, let them have like, you know, be known, be seen, let them like, you know, stop being like, you know, in the past, being like a little bit more closed and reserved. It was like harder to see like the face behind the games other than like a few specific people. And I think they definitely want to like have, you know, more people be recognized, but also to like the budget point, it also kind of falls in line with the report that said like their CEO wants to, in the investor Q&A recently, said that they want to start only focusing on like their key IPs, their franchises with AAA budgets, and then like the smaller indie titles. So like all those deluge of games in between that we saw like last year and the year before, like
yeah,
the
and the
kinda get a-
2022 was ridiculous.
like Field Chronicles and yeah, like that. Those types of
Right.
games are probably gonna go bye. You're probably gonna see probably more like HD 2D Team Osno games, and then stuff like this,
What's that Dragon Quest
which is
3
like.
at?
So that's HD 2D, right? That's still
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
I would not. I don't.
This
yeah,
year,
not sure
maybe.
yeah, I don't think that's too far away. Would be my guess, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is clearly got a bigger budget, and I think they want to try something with this because I think the only alternative for this is like keep going through like those remasters, remakes for this, but Mana is a series I think they haven't tried to like leverage with as you said, Bloodworth. It's been a long time since a purely brand new one on console. Let's give
Yeah.
it its chance. If they're giving like Star Ocean, these chances, they could give Mana chances because I think Mana is a little bit
Yeah.
more longer running and
They're in such a
little bit more
good
well-known.
position, Damiani. They're in such a good spot. They've done it. All the scenarios are in place for this franchise right now because you had the remasters. But then it's one thing to have the remasters to help people catch up. But then when you have the remasters and then you have
Yeah.
a really awesome looking new game,
Yeah.
that encourages people
The
to
1-2
then
punch.
go back
Yeah.
to the remasters. Okay, let me check out this franchise to catch up because I'm hyped and excited for this one.
Yeah.
So I think they're in just a really, really good spot.
Well, I think there are a lot of people who, like me, had never played Trials of Mana because it was only released in
Yeah.
Japan
Yeah.
originally. That like picked up that remake and they're like, hey, I really like how this plays and how it goes out, and unfortunately it was somewhat limited by budget, so it wasn't impressive as the original was at its time, but it was still a good way for people to kind of jump in there and have a nice cozy RPG experience. And I like them launching this in the summer, like it's just
Summer
so
vibes.
good.
You called that summer vibes. I love that.
Yeah, summer vacation for sure.
Drinking ice cold lemonade, grinding in that field.
It's funny you say that. That's also the theme of the new 14 expansion is like summer vacation. So
Really? That's right.
they're going all in on that for this summer.
Yeah.
The Square
That's
Enix
funny.
summer of 24. I
Probably get some Rebirth DLC for the summer. No, just kidding.
I'm curious about what people think about the combat, though. They kept showing off, like, the launch mechanic, then like that air dash away, and then doing like a magic cast. It was like kind of
lots of magic.
overused a little bit.
Yeah, Damiani, that I got into Tales with Symphonia back in the day on GameCube and loved Vesperia and a little bit of Zillia, but Arise's combat, I grew tired of it. And I scrubbed out on Arise. I got pretty far in, but just the combat started to be really samey, really grindy. So I hope that doesn't happen in this. Because it did kind of, like you were saying, definitely had Tales of Arise vibes. So I wonder.
Yeah, I meant more like in like, budget. Like sometimes that's all it takes for a series to feel a little rejuvenated and like for the consumers to think you're taking a little bit more seriously, like, oh, it looks much nicer. You must be, you care about this. Like it turns heads, it grabs attention. But yeah, the combat, it like because of the mix of like magic, and they were talking about it, how they wanted to make it like the action of action RPG. I think they were just my hope, my copium is that they wanted to keep showing off those air dashes because they were like talking about it, like, look, you can do air dashes, and like it's like maybe it's a fault of like the capture team or like direction, like they think that's good, they're showing you can do it a lot, but obviously the question becomes, all right, well, is that how every fight is going to play out? Like, am I gonna, is there something, some variety there? Like, because coming off like Avowed, the one thing you say with Avowed is they showed you a ton of different ways to do your combat and mix it up. And even though it's first person, it's like that's also action RPG. So like
it looked like
there
was a decent amount of spell variety. Like
the rock one like coming out of the ground looked sick.
And like some fire and water and stuff. Like maybe
usually
you can like
you've got a full
something.
set of with your ring menu. You've got like a full set of like 8 elementals, I think.
But you just have them all at the same time, you think?
Well, I think with it, it's interesting because they didn't show any of the menu. I'm curious whether the ring system will come back or if they do something that's a little bit simpler. But I would guess that you would pick one of the elementals on the ring, and then that's the magic loadout that you have at that given time.
Right,
and then you can like swap between them. But I'm curious how seamless that stuff is going to be.
Yeah.
The other thing I wonder about is, co-op has been a big thing in not every game, but a lot of the series, and how well that'll work.
You have to play for 9 hours before you can unlock co-op.
Whether you'll have
like a party system in this one,
or if it'll be online or what. Yeah.
Right.
Were there party members? I can't.
We didn't see any, I don't think.
It wasn't clear. I would say yes.
unclear.
I don't know if it's clear.
Unclear.
I gotta before I forget, I gotta ask. When you saw, did anyone say AOE when you saw like the circle AOE show up on the ground?
We all thought it very loudly.
I thought I didn't say it.
Because I know you like
our inner
you guys like to, like say like Damiani, like Damiani sees AOEs.
AOEs.
Circle AOEs. You gotta
AOEs, dodge AOEs.
MMO mechanics.
Oh, I didn't even see anything. I watched one of them. Like, was that poison gas or something like that? Like, well, what even went off in that AOE? I didn't understand it, but yeah, like hopefully they have a variety of spells, and if there is a party system, maybe you have that dynamic playing in as well. But at the very least, hopefully there's like some kind of like co-op option, maybe. Integrated, since it's such a, some of those mono games, are known.
Just
for
not
that.
on Series S.
Oh, yeah.
No split screen.
I don't think they have to worry about that with this game. Yeah. Jones, any thoughts? You're a grinder?
Yeah, I liked how the gameplay was presented. Again, not to get into like the nuance of like all the specific abilities and stuff, and certainly I don't have experience with the franchise, but I just, for a presentation standpoint and these types of videos, I thought the gameplay was presented very honestly. Like they just kind of stacked a lot of the clips next to each other, took out the music so we could really just hear the sound effects, and like I liked that. I felt like felt like I was kind of from a perspective of actually playing the game at points. And I was like, I like that for these types of videos, for the direct, like we're going to the studio, we're really digging into these elements to just kind of not cut away too fast. I thought like Avowed and Indie did that a little bit, where like you'd see a moment for like 4 seconds and then we're off. Whereas like these, they let the gameplay breathe a little bit, and I like that.
Sorry,
I agree.
I read our chat and Ray Luaza said, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is about an AoE.
It's true.
I'm like, get off the planet.
The planet.
One massive AoE.
AoE the planet.
The Caspar, it's going, run.
We were talking about how Avowed was hard to show off in a presentation, but Aura History Untold, biggest challenge here.
This is about how you show one of these.
It looks sick as hell, and the developer diary was so jolly.
Jolly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
So wholesome.
passionate about
Like,
it.
I want to play it for them after watching this. I'm not even kidding.
I can't let Mark Mayer down. Yeah.
Like, I want to play it just for them, because they were so hyped on it, enthusiastic. I mean, just that, I think out of all of the diaries, this was actually my favorite.
Oh, yeah?
Because of just how they presented it and just their enthusiasm for it.
Yeah,
Well, and they did a great
that one
job
gal in
of
the
it.
hammock. I was like, she's in the
Yeah.
hammock.
Yeah.
What are they doing there?
So
Yeah, we were all like, we got to get those.
They started in David's
I-
basement. I love these people.
Yeah, that was very funny leaving
Yeah,
that.
I love that cut.
I think that they did a really good job of balancing a presentation like this between, because we players of games like this, there are people who get way more hardcore than I do. I kind of dabble in these kinds of games, but I do enjoy them, and I own like a lot of them, like Stellaris and Crusader Kings and Civ and everything, and like they did a good job balancing using like keywords that like hardcore people know what it means, and like introducing it to people who haven't played a bunch of these. And, so they're like, there's a little bit of 4X in there. There's a little bit of this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I think that, to me, the most interesting thing in this that I'm waiting to see how well it pays off is that kind of like change over time, decision-making, rippling through history kind of stuff. Because that would, I think, set it apart. I mean, like, Crusader Kings gets into a lot of that, too. But, like, I like stuff like that, and I think like shaping your leader and your nation and making those choices and having them pay off over time is really cool. Even to the point where they were saying like your choices affect like the way your architecture develops and stuff like that. It's
awesome.
And the cities look very dynamic and interesting and kind of not biological, but like naturally developing, like these real life cities kind of just like happen, and they desire paths become roads, and they're not squares all the time. And I think that this looks pretty realistic in that regard.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. And like at first, the way they introduced crafting, I think kind of misinformed what it seemed to be actually in the game, like later, because it seemed like it was tied to certain industries, and you're like, okay, you are this industry or this building is crafting that thing, not you as a player like needing to craft a bunch of stuff. Because I was like, that seems tedious. But like, I kind of like the idea of setting up little industries like, I don't know, Factorio style or something, where it's like this thing produces this thing produces that, and then this thing puts them together and makes work boots. Like,
or
that's
like having an
cool.
alliance to get more of something. Kind of seems like maybe they're doing that. That like if you have an alliance with another country and you're like, oh shit, I need a lot of ore, and like, well, they have it, so let me not attack them, and or like
and
set up an alliance, get all their supplies, and then kick their ass.
Historically, the diplomacy stuff, especially with AI, has been hard in the past to nail in games like this. And so, yeah, I really hope that their leader systems do well with that. And then, this like tease of the future age, mechs and stuff.
Gundams.
Like,
that stuff's always so
that was
fun.
awesome. That was a smart thing to do, I thought, for a behind-the-scenes video like
Just
this. Be like,
tease
yeah,
it.
you know, robots
Yeah.
anyway, moving on. You're like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these games go into the future age, and like Civ
Yeah.
even did like Beyond or whatever the hell.
God, I
it's
remember
called.
there was a code in Age of Empires 2 where you could have like cars and like moon walking laser blasting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
yes, so cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I really hope it's good.
One thing.
They are passionate.
They have told me that it's good.
They're confident.
Yeah, I
And
believe them.
I said this while we were
100%.
reacting, but like the UI gave me goosebumps. when it first showed up, I was like, it looks clean. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
there's a shitload going on, but it looks pretty well laid out to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems good.
One thing I wonder is with these games,
And the
you know,
trees
like,
look
they
good.
have these things like you build a pyramid, just solo. You build a
It takes a long time.
Oh, those wonders are like
Long.
you can
yeah,
win
you build
through
a
that
Statue
sometimes.
of Liberty, but it's weird to me because it's like you sort of just. To me, it feels like you just build these things because they're recognizable or whatever.
They have different. I mean, speaking generally historically, like wonders have different gameplay
Properties.
payoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
So
they'll
it just seems
buff
strange to me
your-
because like these are buildings that in the real world have very real stories behind
I
why
see
they
what you're saying.
exist,
Yeah,
where they exist,
yeah.
all of that, and so it just seems strange to see like, oh, here's the Statue of Liberty, just
Yeah.
sit in the middle of a town somewhere.
Do they have
Alternate
any
history,
original
boy.
Yeah.
Who knows?
wonders?
What?
In Civ? Do they have original wonders, or are they all based on something? Because that would be cool.
I mean, a
cool
lot of
thing.
them are based on historical
Yeah.
stuff. I think when you get into future eras, maybe
Yeah,
sometimes
it'd be
there
cool if there
are.
were some originals.
But yeah,
Yeah, and that's what I wonder too. Is like,
Mm-hmm.
is there some way for them to like craft a story where it makes sense, or like you get this kind of wonder available to you because you've combined a couple of these paths. You've
Right.
combined the science path and the diplomacy
Right.
path, or something like that.
Like,
It's
can you get a
If
Statue
you don't
of
have a
Liberty-
religion path, then like why do you have a pyramid, right?
right. Like, can you
Right.
get a Statue of Liberty built on a pyramid-shaped base? Like, if you do the right stuff, like that'd be pretty sick. I also, they're talking about it in the B-roll right now, but like I appreciate that they said that
heroes.
all the leaders aren't military leaders
Yeah.
or presidents or
Right.
kings. It's like Confucius and
I'm
shit.
definitely
Like,
going Joaquin Phoenix for sure. 100%.
They talked
just
about
the actor.
a living world.
Just Joaquin Phoenix,
Yeah,
the actor.
dude. The living world.
What does
Yeah.
that mean? It's so hard to
got me.
present. Yeah.
Procedurally
That's the thing I'm
generated
hopefully-
alternate
yeah.
Earth.
Yeah,
All Earth.
Yes.
I'm
That's
excited
pretty.
about that.
That was like I think one of the
It's
biggest sells
beautiful.
for me was that like a lot of these
Yeah.
games I'm not really attracted to because like what I'm looking at is very system based. You were talking about the UI, Isla, and like just
Yeah.
I'm looking at a lot of lines, a lot of numbers, a lot of colors to differentiate like this is you, this is them. Whereas like there were just some really pretty environment shots in that, and I'm like, ooh, if I could just sit back and stare at that, that's kind of a sell for me.
Yeah.
If they, because like it's one of the most gorgeous of these games I've seen, and if the music also hits,
Civ
those
music,
are two Civ
for sure.
My wife Sophia and I will just listen to the Civ
Incredible,
soundtracks.
right?
They are god tier. First
Yeah.
man.
ever video game song to win a Grammy.
Sick.
Chris Tint, shout out.
Baba Yetu. Yep, Chris Tin. Incredible song. Yeah. So I hope the music is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had to nerf the Cougars.
Nerf those
That's
Cougars,
funny.
dude.
That's such. It was.
They're out there.
Everything about that presentation, just
It
like
was
that
so
behind the scenes.
The monster cougar mod.
Playtesting.
Like I need
Yeah.
those cougars to be more aggressive.
Yeah, put the Cougars
I need
back.
to invest
Like I
in
want to
cougar
live.
cages.
Yeah, you have to have like perimeter defenses against the Cougars.
Cougars like take over the world, dude. It goes like full Planet of the Cougars.
But I do wonder about that.
Alternate history of the cougar takes over their planet Earth.
But I do wonder about that when they're talking about living world and
You blew it up,
systems
you
and
bastards.
having to adjust the aggressiveness of these animals. Like, are they going so far as to like simulate like environmental knock-on effects, right? Like
Yeah.
if you kill all the wolves, will you then have to deal with
Huge
You know,
surplus of rabbits or sheep.
a bunch of deer, and now you've got a tick problem, and like
Right.
it's like
Yes. I can confidently say yes, that'll happen. You'll deal with a tick pandemic.
When cougars
you killed all the
ruled
cougars.
the earth.
Yeah, and cougars ruled the earth. The bad you have an advisor pop up that's like, the bad news is all members of your government are dead. The good news is the Cougars have taken over the Capitol building and they seem to understand speech.
You go to the next advisor, it's just a cougar like standing there.
It's just a cougar wearing a suit coat.
The Senate is Cougars.
Yeah, it's like Tony the Tiger, but a cougar.
We haven't heard much from Don on this. You play a lot of these kinds of games,
Don.
Don.
Yeah,
What do you
Don,
think
what do you
about
think?
I don't know. Well, that's not true, but I don't play a huge amount of Civ. I played Civ in the past. I do a lot of building and simulation.
He does more
games,
buildings.
but
Got
I
it.
don't do a lot of the like historic, like the nation-leading Sims.
Yeah.
I have in the past, but it's been a little while.
Get it
Dabbled a
right,
little
blood.
bit, but I don't know. Yeah, that's all I could say. Like I think I'd reiterate a lot of what Isla said. I think the take on this is super interesting, with the alternate paths being the alternate histories being like the main focus, even though some of those other games have done stuff like that and everything.
Not
But,
enough pipes for Dawn.
Yeah, I didn't see any sewage systems.
No sewage systems.
That's a little bit of a markdown for me, but I'm sure that I imagine they're in there.
It'd be interesting if a game like this had an alternate mode that was more just like city simulation. Like, obviously that's a whole other thing, but like,
Yeah.
so many of the systems are in place. I wonder, it'd be tough, but to
like a
add
free
like another,
play
like another mode like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you just take the combat out, I guess, and it's mostly diplomacy, but more like city sim kind of stuff. Could be interesting. Maybe a game's done that. I don't know.
Jones, since you'll be leaving here in a moment, any other thoughts on Xbox or any of the specific games?
Just that I love, like I'm excited to come here to talk about indie, but I always love talking about just how these things are packaged and just like how the different, publishers and the big media companies handle it. And I thought this had a pretty good vibe. I like starting it and then being like, we're going to talk about these 4 games. And then like, oh, little sneaky Square Enix. I thought that was cute. But like even just in the end, like having all the outtakes, and because it's always nervous when some developers just do not do well sitting on a couch being like, hi, we're excited about, this. And it's like, you can be really good at making a game. It does not mean you need to be good at being on camera talking about it. It's like, just, go back to the studio, make the game really good.
I was actually thinking about the video production element of this, Jones, because it's like, and they showed some outtakes at the end, and that confirmed my suspicions, where it's like, they had a video team go to these places, and they directed these people, and like, they were scripted, and I thought it was well put together,
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. For sure.
So it wasn't, it wasn't too overly serious as these can tend to be.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed my time with it. When it was over, I was like, that was pleasant. Like we can get into the nitty gritty with
For
each
sure.
game, but I thought that was fun.
Yeah, and I do think too that one of the things I like is that focus. Like, I think they have a really good.
The expectations were set.
Yeah.
But not just that. It's like there's so many of these presentations that we've seen over the past 3-4 years, where it's just like you get so many games.
Yeah.
That you're overwhelmed, and by the time we're here sitting at the desk going through the list, I'm like,
Right,
what was
what's
that
that
game?
one?
Nobody can remember what the heck it was.
The Game Awards.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
what was that one again?
Wholesome games. I remember when Don and I went through that,
Oh,
or Damiani maybe.
Oh yeah, no, there were some of those that were
Wholesome
like
game.
literally less than a minute
Yeah.
on theirs.
Yeah.
And like we wrote them down, and we were just like, "What was that?"
You're trying to write down the name of the game, and you're looking at the next game.
Yeah.
Especially
exactly.
the year they were all farm sims. Yeah.
They're all witches, frogs, and farms. Yeah.
Frogs.
So
yeah.
Sometimes all at the same time.
I like that they're really focused and like we're gonna do 5 games.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good amount of time with each one of them.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some things you'd want to see that you didn't get to see about one game or another, but it's got a real presence.
And this correctly, I think, sets expectations for these, because we were talking beforehand. It's like, well, last year they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush, and it's like, are they going to shadow drop another thing? Because that'll set that expectation. And now we know, like, there'll probably always be a secret 5th thing, but they won't always be a release.
Yeah, no, and this isn't even like a secret, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, here's
Like, we've
another
seen it
game that we
before,
didn't promote
yeah.
ahead of time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
A surprise,
yeah,
a treat.
Very fun.
cool. Well, Jones, thank you so much for coming by and chatting with us about Indiana
Love it.
Jones and
Thanks
Xbox.
for calling and asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huber,
Love you,
wake,
Jones.
wake me when Great Circle comes out, Huber. I'll just be right over here.
100%.
All right, let's talk about some games.
Let's do it.
Yeah. First up, review copies provided by PlayStation.
PlayStation.
There's text in the OBS if you want to throw that up there.
Nice. Yeah, Huber and I have been playing The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. First off, I want to give a shout out
Oh,
to...
wait, we have a solution for that.
For what? Oh, you're talking about the card.
Because we have to show it visually.
Oh, I put the text up.
The text is there.
I guess we have
We're doing both.
physical text now, which I always
Physical
appreciate.
text and on-screen text. It's probably better on screen, but yes.
Nice touch.
I love trolling them on that.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a fucking stupid requirement, and I love making fun of them.
Yeah. I want to shout out the Lost Levels.
Yeah.
Check these out. So in case you're not aware of this, they took 3 levels that were in production, and Don, you can go ahead and roll this clip here. And they have like a little, they put them back into the game, but not back into the game. So basically, there's bonus features.
Yeah, it's
part
in
of
a
the
separate menu bonus
and
thing.
you can go through and you can click on each one of these levels that were cut towards the end of production when they were going through, and basically they said like each one of these was sort of cut for pacing.
Yeah.
You know, these would have taken months to
makes
have
sense.
finished. The first one that they show in Jackson, you know, there's a lot of stuff. They called this the roughest one. Like they didn't even have audio.
Yeah.
You know, like all the dialogue was just on screen as subtitles.
Yeah.
But what's really nice with each of these is that, like, you can walk up to like this floating 3D audio bubble and get commentary from the designers, and they really talk through like, okay, what is this part of the scene about?
Yep.
The second one, they talk about like level design decisions and like how they're guiding the player's eyes and all of this stuff.
It's really awesome to get that interactive behind the scenes look. You know, it just, you really see like another side of game development that we don't always get to see, like how it's very transparent, you know. Before each one, you get a little like live Neil Druckmann, and he's like, just want you to know, like, these are not the final. We're in production. You know, they're not done. Like,
Sucks out loud.
the
Don't
quality's
worry about
not
it.
there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's just
this part with
really-
the clicker kids, they're like playing tag, but one of the kids is a clicker. It's just like so
The clicker
funny.
game. That's so funny.
And it's really fun. The commentary is really good because you learn about like why they cut some of these scenes, and they tie it into like the whole game. You know, you should obviously like play the game if you haven't played the game, and then watch these. But I really liked that aspect. Like it was like, oh, that makes sense, like why it was cut. And then even like you see like that other side of game design where it's like the last one was like about a potential boss fight with a boar.
Yeah.
And they end up cutting that. And it's like, yo, we cut it because it's just like super gamey. It was like super like video gamey. You're fighting this boar. It's just like too much.
What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, and this one with the sewers, it's interesting because they had this whole thing where they're like talking about like puzzles with the rushing water, but it's just sort of like this between spaces, right? It's like you're going from, you know, how did she get from, you know, the center of Seattle out to the coast or whatever, and it's like, oh, well, this is where it happened, but for pacing, we didn't really need it.
Yeah.
But there's also stuff in here, like when she's crawling through the tunnel, where it's like, okay, well, we had to create a whole camera system to do this because otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to see where you're going. It would have been clicking through the wall and all this, and so it's interesting to get all of those little nuances, and then to be like, yeah, this would have taken months to have finished.
Yeah.
And we felt like it slowed things down.
Yeah. It's super interesting. The whole thing will last you like 40 minutes probably, going through all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, it kind of reminds me of like deleted scenes on a DVD where it's like, that was neat, but like, I see why it got cut, you know, like these things get cut for a reason. And I am like, I can see why, you know, these scenes were okay. Would have definitely like where they exist in the main game definitely would have slowed things down.
Yeah.
The boar scene, like how that was supposed to lead into the farm and stuff. There's some really good commentary. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, and what I thought was crazy with the hunt is just like, it's just this whole other environment. It's this completely other environment that we'd never see because there's no reason to see it. And it's wild that they
Put
went
that in
through
No
that
Return, dude.
and
Let's
all
go.
of those iterations.
I know. I love the little like market down there. I was like, yo, it's so cozy. I just stood in front of that market for like a good minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, so I know you kind of said this. Do you access these by going to just like a menu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like where you would
Making
go
of.
to like bonus features.
Oh,
and
okay,
all
so
that
they're not
stuff.
like they're not.
Okay.
they're not placed into the game with a
No,
little speech
no,
bubble, and if you
No.
click it, it takes you to the last level
Yeah.
in context.
No.
It's just the menu.
It's
okay.
each of the 3 is a separate one too.
Oh, okay. All right.
In the menu. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
it's very
makes
much like clicking on any other like developer diary thing
Right,
in one
right.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So cool insight. Glad it's there. I hope they do like more stuff like that. Honestly, it was really fascinating. I wonder how much. Probably tons of stuff gets left on the cutting room floor in a
Yeah.
lot of games.
I mean, that's
You
what the
know?
term "kill your babies" is from, right? And I mean, I know it from a film context
Yeah.
where it's like, we spent all day doing this shot, and we used a crane, and like it cost
Yeah.
us a bunch of money, and we love that shot.
Yeah,
and
they
like,
did a lot
It's the
there.
greatest thing that we ever got, but it just doesn't fit the film. You just got to kill your babies, you know,
Yeah.
if you love it. And like
It makes sense.
them
for these.
talking about that, where it's like, yeah, we did a lot of work on this, but it just
Yeah.
didn't work.
Because he
It's just like-
says too there were more than 3. He was like these 3 were the best and furthest along.
Right.
There were
Right.
even more than this.
right.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
There's also
super
the
early
music-
stuff, it's like it wouldn't even be that interesting to see.
Yeah.
Probably, I wonder.
There's also the music mode, but I don't know if you messed around with that. Just
No.
talk about it for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
It's just you can choose Ellie, Joel, or
Oh, you
Gustavo.
play the guitar. Yeah.
And you can play a guitar. You can do it in like 4 different environments. You can unlock other instruments. You can get the banjo, like different types of guitars. You can put like pedals on it, and I bet people are gonna make insane.
Yeah, I've heard about the guitar
Stuff.
free play thing, but
Yeah.
how, mechanically, how does it work? Like, how
So
do you
it's-
pick notes?
So you cycle through keys with R1, L1, and then strum with the touchpad on the DualSense. So it'll be all the notes on a wheel,
Okay.
and then different keys.
So you can
cycle
set like
through.
the mode. Like, can you get like into like crazy stuff like Phrygian and
There's
like,
pedals. I think that's about it.
okay.
And like 5 or 6 keys.
So the keys are just like A minor or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you just pick notes in that key. All right, that's cool.
Yeah. So
That's like the mini game, but yeah, more free play.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then the big addition is No Return, which I know, Huber, you've got a lot of thoughts on.
lot of thoughts.
We broke down these mechanics in the preview, so I don't know, like, we'll go in depth with like every different little thing that's in there, but I want to get more into the qualitative stuff now that we've put some more time into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Huber, I know some mixed thoughts here. What do you think?
Some mixed thoughts. Yeah. I've just had to adjust how I view it now because there's roguelikes and there's roguelites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a roguelike. So there's no like meta progression, and I like meta progression. I like Hades and Rogue Legacy
Yeah, same.
and God of War Valhalla. Like
Same.
I love that, especially when you add like story into those modes as well,
absolutely.
which all 3 of those have. There's no story here.
Hades,
and
like the hub, is my favorite part.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no story here, and like the unlocks are just really unsatisfying. It's just like, hey, other than the characters, obviously, but to get all the characters, it's just like, play 2 rounds with this character.
Yeah, it escalates. It's like 2 with this character, then 3 with this
then
character.
3 with the
4
next
that
one you
character.
get. So you have to go
Yeah.
through every character to get all the characters. You can do it very fast. I streamed all of Abby's side, and I unlocked all of them in like an hour and a half chat, like not even. So you get all the characters really quick. You can also unlock skins, which is really cool, especially for Ellie and
Abby have a
Abby?
ton of them.
Yeah,
the
and it
rest
makes
are
sense.
a little bit more like 4 or 5 per character. Something
yeah,
like
but Ellie and Abby's too, you can take into the campaign, which is like another awesome
That's
hook
cool.
for that. But other than that, I mean, you're unlocking like more modifiers that can pop up in the match, which is like not exciting. It's like, okay, now like
It's
now
not
there
exciting
can
as a goal, Huber, but
Yeah.
I do like the modifiers and the
Yes.
gambits a lot.
100%.
And I think that helps to kind of work in terms of like giving you more variety.
for sure.
Because that way it's not like it doesn't feel like every run is like, oh, I've seen it all immediately. It's like,
Totally.
okay, I do enough runs and now like, okay, now invisible enemies is unlocked and that is freaking nuts.
Yeah.
And
Invisible
your
enemies is
first
insane.
time with invisible enemies goes down about as you think it would.
Yeah.
It's like, what is happening right now? Where is the creature in relation to its shadow?
Mm-hmm.
Like all of this kind of thing. I had one where it was like they had pustule rain and tripwires on the same map. And it's
Awesome.
just like, so you have like these like basically gas bombs, these fungal bombs just coming out from the sky randomly.
Yeah.
And
Is the invisibility a psychological thing? Something that was truly invisible wouldn't cast a shadow.
it's just
It's
a
just
game
for
modifier.
game mod,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
there's no attempt to like
I got stuck on that. I was like,
narratively
wait, what?
justify
Yeah.
these things whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the invisible on the
Yeah.
screen now for viewers. And yeah, when you kill them, then the bodies pop out.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So that's the thing, Blood. 100%, you're correct. Because now that I've adjusted, it's a fun ass way to just fight enemies in The Last of Us Part 2, which I just love doing. Sometimes I'll just boot up. Well, the old encounters, because there was always an encounter select in Part 2. So sometimes I would just like, hey, let's play some encounters, because I love the combat system in Last of Us so much. So this is obviously an incredible way to just enjoy random fighting and combat in The Last of Us Part 2. I just wish there was a little more incentive, or like just a little more to hook me, you know?
Right.
Because it's just like, okay, do a few fights, but like I never, because I've had it for like 3 weeks now, or quite a while. I've never had the like insane itch or pull or drive to like continue to play it a bunch, It's just like, oh, it's just fun. Like it's a fun
I
way.
think that there's a couple of layers to that I think because it is tough for
It's
sure.
very tough.
And because basically the way that a run is set up is it's 6 maps
Yeah.
that are randomly available. So like you'll have a cork board that shows you, okay, you have to start here, and then you can pick a path,
Yeah.
and then that branches off again.
Oh, okay.
And then each
And
one of those
that
levels.
thing too, but those choices I don't think are that interesting as well. Like as a roguelite mode.
but the choice
picking
is-
the path is like, okay, I get
Are there shops you can like?
yeah, you
pick,
get
yes,
like you
but-
choose the path.
but
like
here's
in
the thing.
I just
Six
don't
Flames Fire
I
or
don't think
whatever?
any of those choices are interesting ever, Blood.
I think if you get to know the upgrade trees, because that's the thing. When you go on
Have you gotten to know the upgrade?
I have
trees,
I
though?
definitely have
Yeah.
gotten to know the
Oh,
upgrade
okay.
trees.
So,
All right.
so the choice is like, okay, the things that can vary on a level is a level, is obviously which actual map you're going to be on, what the game type is going to be on. So there's assault, which is just like, okay, you've got, 3 waves of enemies, and as you get further up the levels, like you start with like 3 waves of 3 enemies, and you get 3 waves of 4 enemies, 3 waves of 5 enemies. There is hunted.
Hunted rules.
Yeah, which
Horde mode.
It's just
okay.
2 minutes of survive.
Survive.
Just
Sure.
live until the timer runs out.
That's my favorite.
And so sometimes those things will be really easy. You find like a cozy spot,
Yeah.
and you're there.
Stairwells.
Yeah, and you can wait it out. Other times it's like they're in your face, especially with infected
Oh,
and
so
hunted.
you don't have to kill a certain number. You just have to live.
You just have to live.
Okay.
Holdout, I think, is the hardest for me, especially
Yeah.
with infected, because
Especially when
you
you
have
have
to
a partner, yeah.
You have to, you have to keep
Yeah,
your partner
yeah.
alive.
Your partner, yeah.
So they're all coming at them, and you're trying to get them without blowing up your partner
Yeah.
at the
So
same
just
time.
just so I'm visualizing it right.
Yeah.
So is it areas from the game that they've taken and made into like
Yeah.
closed off
The arenas.
arenas?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's the
Are you trying
capture.
to get from point A to point B, like in Left 4 Dead, or is
You
it
just do you level by
game
level by
modes?
level, and then
Okay.
the 6th level is a boss.
Oh, okay.
But before I get to the boss, the capture, there's a safe in the level.
Right. I saw
And
that.
so you can try to sneak by everyone and crack the safe, or if you don't open the safe in 2 minutes and the safe locks and you don't get those
Yeah.
resources,
Which are clutch.
and then you have to kill everybody to close out the level. But then there's the boss. So the first boss is the arcade bloater. And then after you beat the arcade bloater, then you unlock a new boss
Yep.
that goes at the end of the run. And I think they said there's like 6 different bosses.
5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay.
And those are in an order.
Yeah, when you
Apparently?
first do them, like you have to beat the arcade bloater to get to the next boss.
Okay.
And you have to beat that to get to the next boss. And once you've done all of them, then it starts to
5.
shuffle them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So-
okay.
Yeah, I just wish that the choices were more interesting, Bloodworth. Like the paths, like I think of, and fair comparison with God of War Valhalla. It just came out.
Yeah.
huge Sony first party. These are the two flagship franchises. I just think like choosing those paths is so interesting every time. It's like, okay, am I gonna go currency here? Am I gonna get like a perk for my weapon? Am I gonna get, magic power? It's like, which one am I going to go to? Even Hades, it's okay, which door do I want to go to? All after an arena in Hades, every time it's like, okay, where am I going to go right now? And like, you think about that for a second, it's like, okay, I don't know.
Do you think that's because, do you think those decisions don't have weight because it's not a roguelite? Like that it doesn't,
I feel like
it doesn't have that progression?
I mean, it does within a run. Right. We're talking about the upgrade trees.
Yeah. Right. But I meant because it doesn't have the overall progression. Do you think that it hurts leads in-game choices to have more weight?
I wanted the economies to maybe matter more because I never felt like I needed to go a certain route to get either crafting parts or supplements or coins. The difference between each route you go to is so small.
You're also too good at video games, though.
It's tough.
You're like that samurai wandering the earth looking for an equal. Like you're too good at games.
No, it is. It's actually really tough. I just really don't think the differences in the route you go matter all that much. And I know there are like a little bit of the upgrade trees. It's like, okay, like I could get covert or like vigilance or something, but even then, Blood, it's just like never really interesting enough. It's just like, okay, I really like fighting in this game. Let's go.
I think to me, I'm more, when I'm weighing the choices, I'm weighing them a little bit more on what the modes are, right? Like if I don't want to do hunted, right?
Sure,
That's not going to go well on that level or whatever. Or the mods, because that's the thing, that those variables, like the invisible enemies and stuff, you can see what those are when you're picking what's on a path.
Right.
Yeah. I do think that
do the mods come with specific bonuses for you too, or are they just
They can. So there can be things like enemies have less health or more health, or there can be like the thick fog.
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of different mod things that are there.
But then too, also a personal issue, Blood, a lot of this is tied to high score leaderboards, which I have never nor will I ever care about unless it is a Pac-Man machine in an arcade. Then I will care.
Yes.
But I really don't care about like, okay, I played on Grounded, so my score multiplier is a little higher. It's like,
I don't care about.
Yeah.
That I don't care about.
And obviously roguelites, God of War, the higher difficulty you play, the more resources you get.
Right.
Awesome. Hades, when you would pick a weapon, hey, if you use this weapon this round, you get more resources. It's like, oh, okay, encouraging me to mix it up. I wish there was that too. I wish it was like, hey, do a random hero, get a higher multiplier. That'd be a cool addition too.
Yeah.
It just felt like I'm never incentivized to fully experiment, and the choices aren't that interesting. So it really just boils down to who do I want to play as because I like them right now and I just want to fight.
But I think that that's something that they have done that's really interesting, is that the differentiation
The characters,
between
Blood.
each character.
Yes.
They're not just another skin.
They're so
they
fun.
Each come with different weapons
Oh,
and
okay.
different things,
Yes.
like things that you can craft like right off the get-go.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that in the menu.
Yeah,
So
like
fun.
Dina can craft trap mines from the start.
Yeah.
Other characters, you might have to unlock trap mines or buy them from the
Okay.
shop one way or another.
During a run.
Tommy
Yeah.
has his special sniper rifle. It's out of control, like one-shots everything.
Oh wow.
But Tommy and Joel can't dodge.
They can't dodge, which
so
is
that's
insane.
freaking hard.
It's
Whoa.
actually insane. Because
Yeah.
you can get into situations where you just get like stun locked,
Where you just can't.
where they're just like
win.
boom, 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 and it's like the dodge
They
is
do have-
so OP in
They
that
do
game.
have like better melee or something though, right?
Stronger melee,
Yeah.
I think, is one. Yeah.
But
Even Abby can like dodge and her melee like gets health back.
right.
So it's just like,
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. Is like I think that's like
Girl power.
another layer of difficulty
Abby.
essentially with that, because
yeah.
because I could see, when I've done the best on a run, it's when I've been playing with Ellie or Abby. I think
Yeah.
that like they're the starters.
Hell yeah.
They're the ones that are the most equipped all arounders,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you get into these other characters, they're more specialties. Like
Yeah.
challenge runs.
Lev is all
Yeah.
about the bow. and you saw in there
Yara,
you
get to
can-
play as both. It's so
I mean,
sick.
I love the bow in
you
that.
you can craft
game.
explosive arrows with that, you know, and you know, lure a group of guys into the same spot, blow them all up at once.
Yeah.
For England, James.
Yeah.
So, like-
but
like-
then it's like when you talk about the bloater, I'm like, I don't know what the crap I'm gonna do with Lev at the bloat. Like, come on, that's gonna be hard. It's hard enough.
So, didn't fully live up to expectations, but do you think that paired with the lost levels and the other things and the improvements to the game itself, like, you know, do you think that? Because I mean, really, you know, realistically, it is just kind of a fun bonus mode.
100%.
And it didn't need to be
And
even as
that's-
involved as it is.
And that's what I needed to adjust to. It's like, oh, it's a fun bonus mode where I was
Right.
expecting.
Whereas like Valhalla is like in a whole other game.
Exactly, and I was expecting,
For free.
because it's Naughty Dog,
Yeah.
because it's Last of Us, because they
Right.
don't have an original game on PS5 yet, just a bunch of remasters, remakes. It was like, okay, I'm expecting this thing, and they canceled factions.
Right.
It's like, I'm expecting
Right.
some huge things here, especially Uncharted 4's survival mode was so incredible, and it was so addicting,
Yeah.
and just like kept wanting to play. So I was like, okay, I had really high expectations for this, but now that I know exactly what it is, I can just sit back and have fun and you know
Right.
do the odd stream every once in a while. Like, hey, let's just stream a couple runs.
So we've done a service
So-
here today by setting people's expectations.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so.
I honestly
don't know.
think that Valhalla did this game a disservice by coming
Little
out
bit.
so close to
You're
it
right.
and
Little bit.
before it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it sounds
For
like
free.
it is the better option.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if there's any real good reason that this couldn't have been put into the PS4 as a patch.
Yeah.
Why do
That
you
is
have to
weird.
pay to get this?
Yeah.
You know, it's only in the remastered version.
Yeah. Could have gone for just like a little dialogue too. I don't know. I know like having to get those like voice actors again is probably insane, but like they just mumble
Right.
like one thing, so you feel detached from the characters as well, and that's such a
Right.
huge part of playing The Last of Us.
Weird
is
that they
how
wouldn't-
intimately you invested are you with the
Weird
characters.
that they wouldn't reuse. I mean, I imagine they still have like their effort noises and their
Yeah,
combat noises.
they say
Yeah,
they'll say like
they
one
have
thing.
stuff that they say here and there.
Joel
and
will
when you
be
come back
like,
to
"All right,
the,
here we go,"
base-
Oh,
or something.
okay.
Like,
So I mean, it really does sound like it sounds like they're trying to go more like mercenaries than
Yes. Yes.
But then
it's
even
much
mer-
more of like an arcadey. mode.
right.
Yeah.
That's what they were more aiming for. And we all figured it was going to be this big, huge
yeah.
thing.
I thought there'd be a little more.
Okay.
Even if they had like, you know, even if there were just like extra challenges where it's like, yo, beat it with every character or something, just something extra to like hook you in, like, yo, beat it with every character and then unlock a skin. I mean, they do have two, and it's the same as leaderboards where it's like there's 2 weapon skins you can get if you finish all the
weapon
challenges.
skins are my leaderboards. For
Yeah,
I do not care
it's
about weapon skins ever.
Exactly. So it's like if you finish all
Weapon
the
skins
challenges,
are pretty rarely interesting to me. Vermintide, there are a couple where I'm like, oh, my knives look sick. Okay.
So it's like if you finish all the weapon or all the challenges on Ellie's side, you get like a pistol skin and a rifle skin, and then same thing for Abby. It's like if you do all the challenges,
Right.
you get those, and that's
Hooray.
yeah. So yeah, still love it. My expectations though are now.
You parasited
readju-
yourself.
I parasited myself. I've been fully
Hoisted
readjusted
by your own petard.
Yeah, and now I can just enjoy it for what it is rather than what I wanted it or thought it would be.
Yeah.
You know, I'm for what it is, I love it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
We've got more to come. But if you've been enjoying the show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. Leave a review if you're on a podcast app. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. All right, Isla.
Ah!
You've been playing a lot of
Oh,
Warframe.
God. I thought you were cutting this.
Well, you put it in the intro, so now it's there.
Look.
Yeah, hey, if you do, no pressure, but if you do a good enough job right now, I will install it right when I get home. The second I get
All
home.
right, challenge accepted.
All right.
Okay.
You got enough to worry about.
You got enough to worry about. Blood's like, no. You're not allowed.
Daddy says no.
Daddy says no.
No,
Or no,
go to your room.
Blood corrected me on that shockingly, and he was like, I've always been mom. And I was like, oh, right, okay. So mom and mommy.
But it is a game like I like of the things that are like running around out there. Like I've always been curious. I
Listen.
played it back in a preview build state way back.
Yeah.
I've had a bunch of friends who played it like
with Ben for,
when
like,
it
a
came out, and they all hated it. And I watched some old footage of 10-year-old Warframe, and I was like, oh God! Like some of the similarities are actually pretty funny. Like the grate falls out of the ceiling, like even back then, and you fall into your area. But like, whoo, it was different and weird. Like I didn't expect to like this game. Full disclosure, like the reason I started playing it was like a digital extremes guy like was talking to me at Day of the Devs, and I was like,
Right.
oh yeah, like I've always wanted to kind of try it, and he was like, well, give it a shot. We've been trying to make the new player experience better, blah blah blah, and like I jumped in, and it was like it has immediacy.
Hell yeah.
Like
does.
that's my number one thing in a game, and especially for like a gigantic, like I don't know how long exactly Warframe's been around, like 12 years or something like
Gotta
that.
be
Like
I think so.
Yeah.
something like that. Like for a huge, bloated, psychotic, bizarre, freaky, weird ass multiplayer game to be jump-inable is kind of impressive. And I'm really glad I didn't try it a year ago or whatever when they gave you the choice between the Duveri Paradox and regular Warframe track, because if I had started on Duveri Paradox, I would have hated this game immediately and never played it again. Because it's like slow, shitty Dark Souls, and the fun stuff you occasionally get to do is in a Warframe, right? And it's like this weird other thing. And back when that came out, they let you pick your path of how you wanted to start. And it's presented now as just a quest, which is very strange because it doesn't explain what it is, and it just drops you into a different character creator, and then you're in like an open world, and you're like, what is happening right now? But like it's fast, it's crazy, it's generally pretty free to play. I mean, you got to do some grinding to get frames and whatever. Like my rule, as we've talked about before, is just like I'll put in the price of a game. If I'm enjoying a free to play game, I'll give you my $60.
I'll buy some V-Bucks.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and now I've got a friend, my friend Jack and I are playing it together. So we started up, or I joined his old clan from 10 years ago, and we've got our dojo, and we're like building rooms together. And like, yeah, we've got a dojo, dude. Come
What?
join our dojo.
Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
Yo.
Like we put like a forest area in there that branches off
What?
into all these other labs.
Wait,
there's
there's,
a
like-
dueling room, dude.
You can build a base like this?
Yes.
What?
And like each player can contrip like materials to the rooms for the
wild.
dojo. It's bonkers.
Nice.
And
There's
like
so much stuff into this game.
dude, there have been like 5 different times. Honestly, Damiani, it's been like, maybe I should get back into 14 or whatever, but like there have been 5 different times where I'm just like, oh, there's a whole fucking other game in here. Like I got a Railjack, which
Railjack.
yeah,
Sounds
which is, and
some
they
Catherine Bigelow movie.
they alluded to it a couple of times. Yeah, it does sound like it. They alluded to it a couple of times. I was like, okay, it sounds like a spaceship. I don't know. And then I did these missions to get this gigantic other ship, and you can go into it, you can walk around, you can change the decorations, you can, reskin it, and you can fly it, you can go in the different turrets, you can change what the turrets are, you can put a toxin gun on it so that it kills the crew inside of an enemy ship instead of damaging the ship. And it has this whole other game mode that's basically Guns of Icarus, and you and your people have to like fight other ships, shoot at them. You can use this giant laser to destroy an enemy ship entirely. You can go out in your archwing and fly over to the other ship and go
insane.
inside the ship, kill the entire crew, and take over the ship.
Are there ever moments, Isla, free-to-play games sometimes scare me when all of a sudden you go
hit the
let
wall?
it die style
Yeah.
and you
Level
hit that
26, you just boom,
You're
paywall.
just, yeah, it's like, okay, grind for 100 hours now on the same shit. You're going nowhere.
I'm 50 or 60 hours into goddamn Warframe, and
good value.
I've had one moment like that didn't stop my gameplay, but it has stalled my progression on a syndicate, like a side syndicate. But like that's not even like it only is a bummer for me because the next 2 things that I would unlock are specific to my favorite weapon and a character that I've been using. But it's like I have to get this Lex Prime receiver gun part that's like hard to come by. And like I tried grinding for various different things to like unlock that, and it just wasn't paying off for me.
So you just play whatever.
So then I was just like, I'll just continue doing story stuff. But like they do a good job, at least so far, in the normal story stuff of introducing the new gameplay mechanics and the new things and like getting your progression going, you know.
Yeah.
And like it is kind of funny because it's one of those things where you can hit level cap on a Warframe pretty fast, you know, like in an hour or two. And then there are levels I'm hitting now where it's like, you know, the enemies are quote unquote level 40, you know, and the level cap is 30.
Yeah.
And like I'll go into those and I just get trounced and I'm like, okay, what the hell? And it's like, okay, you've got to like up your mods even more and like double your mod capacity with this item and shit. And it gets insane. There's so many different currencies. So
More
there,
than
you know,
Suicide Squad?
it's definitely a free-to-play game, but so far I haven't gotten brick-walled out
Nice.
of gameplay
That's
at
the
all.
Best thing you
Yeah.
could say to
Yeah.
make me install.
And like it's fun. Like the thing is like Jack and I were grinding for a thing for our dojo because we needed like Terillium or whatever for a room, and we just did it one of the endless game modes for one of the levels. It's like a survival thing where the enemy cuts off the air and you have to just keep getting life support stuff from enemies. You know.
Yeah.
And the game is so fast and so crazy and so constant that it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun to grind. And like, will I get sick of Warframe and stop playing it eventually? Probably.
You already
Like
got
Dragon's
50
Dogma
hours out
comes
of
out
it.
in 2 months, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but like, I don't know. I'm shocked.
Sounds
Also,
awesome.
it's like if Cronenberg directed, I don't know, Mass Effect. Like
Yeah,
it's like
there you go.
it's Destiny. It's Destiny, but Melee with weird bio horror stuff in it, and that's right up my alley.
Hell yeah. Love bio-horror.
And it's like freaky, sexy, gross, like nasty, like I don't know. It's fun.
Nice.
I remember the movement being so fun. I played for like 5 total hours back in the
Oh,
day. That was
it's much
the like
improved.
running and the like gliding and the spinning. You would do the like spin thing.
It took me a while because I was trying not to look stuff up too much. Like I'll look up like what level do I play to grind for Terillium or what. Like I'll look that shit up. But I've been trying to figure out controls and like combos and stuff myself. And like that's been pretty gratifying because I figured that hitting L1 and X at the same time is how you consistently do the jump forward spin move.
Love that thing.
Which is and like I
love
constantly
that.
just do that all
It's
the time.
so fun.
And then I found that move where I flip onto my hands and kick up with my legs and pop heads off of guys. Like, it's great.
Tell them about your combo. What it sounds like.
Huh?
What
Oh, my. I can't remember if I said that during this episode or not.
You did.
The
You
weapon
told me
I-
offline.
The weapon I use is called Obex, and it's like basically little floating brass knuckles for your hands and feet.
Yeah.
And so you kick and punch. It's one of the faster weapons that I could find.
Yeah.
And you kick and punch, and very frequently, my kicks and punches, if you push circle just like a few times, it'll literally go ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Like, it has the exact Terminator rhythm, and I think of humor every time.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
Warframe, dude, who knew? Thousands and thousands of people everywhere on the world knew for years, and I never believed you, and I'm sorry.
So awesome.
Damiani, any thoughts since I've kind of left you out on the last discussion? I'm sorry.
I've never touched Warframe, but I'm glad you enjoy it. I will never probably be able to play it because I'm only doing one game as live service game as 14. I will never
That's
touch
the
another
rule.
one.
1 or 2
There's
max.
just
Yeah.
the best advice I can give
Damiani-
you if you're into one, stay with it. Don't jump into another one. You won't have time for anything else.
I actually did want to ask you this question, Damiani, because I've never really gotten sucked into a game like this to this extent. And normally the way that I play games is
Diablo.
Diablo for me is different because I play mostly for the story and then I grind the end game just for fun
Got
because
it.
it's like a chill out vibes game, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, that's a little different. But
it.
like, and maybe this will be the same once I hit end game because like I'm not even 2 Whispers in the Wall yet, the Ben Starr stuff. Like it's like, I'm like a quarter,
Wow.
30% of the way into the story.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. The PlayStation percentage says 60%, but I don't know how accurate that is. But like, the way I play games is like I beat them and then I stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't play other games while I'm playing that game, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, Damiani, how do you do it? Like, how do you play 14 and anything else ever?
Well, eventually with Warframe, you should eventually you catch. Oh, okay. One,
Catch up.
I don't know about Warframe, but most of these games, including 14, you can't do everything. So it's like you got to pick what you're interested in and stick with that. And then the longest part is like, how late did you jump in? I started at the ground floor with 14, so
Right.
I've never had to catch up with 14. Whereas
Right, I'm
people who jump into
catching up.
14 or you jumping into Warframe, it's like, or when I try to jump into Destiny, it's like, oh my god, even the
like jumping
vaulting
into
shit's
One
like,
Piece.
Oh my, how much shit is
I
there?
played
to
hundreds
do?
of hours of
that,
Destiny. I still feel like I'm jumping back in
like
every
that
time.
journey. It's like you really have to like that game. So like that's a
Yeah.
huge hill to climb. And then once you get over that initial hill and you catch up, like your content caught up, you just every update, you just like do what you need to do with the update, and then
Like Hubert,
you can
yeah,
move
with-
on. You don't have
Warframe.
to. Yeah, there'll be a part where it's like, okay, there really is there. I mean, there's still more if you want to do it, but like what I found interesting, I've done my fill of that. I'm going to do other stuff now. So,
Cool.
or
Okay,
you find something in there that's like it's just a daily or weeklies you have to complete. You do that,
Right.
you know, and
Jump
like
in every
in your time, and then
Thursday
you
or
move
whatever.
on. So it's like this day or this night is going to be the night I do that stuff, and like I don't need to play this anymore this week. So that's I think the
Okay.
point you're trying to reach. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's all different layers of that. Like casual player, like it's very even 14 casually. If you catch up, you like you're not gonna have to like worry about I have to play 14 all the damn time. Like no,
Right.
you really do not have to. But like I don't know how it works in Warframe, but like with Destiny, like as well, like and WoW, like with raiding, or if you start getting any of that, starting to have like schedules and shit, that's where you gotta like maybe, you know, think about things about, well, if it only happens once a year, cool. You can dedicate like 2-3 weeks or a month or whatever of your nights to doing that. And that's like once a year. But I don't know how frequent, if it's like too frequent, I mean, it could get a little intense. It's just where you're comfortable with and what you want to get. And honestly, this is the thing. Just why people only play like Grand Theft Auto every 10 years it comes out, or Skyrim or Fortnite or Minecraft.
Auto.
These, you said,
Why are you
Isla,
saying
like,
Grand Theft Auto?
well, Isla, you said like, man, this game has so much more games in it. That's what they're trying to
Yeah.
do. These games
Right.
cast such a wide net. They're just trying to appeal to so many people that
keep
they
you
want
hooked,
you to just
yeah.
like, but also there are people who are like, there is a ton of stuff to do. I am going to try and do everything. And that's the only game they ever need. Like I hear people like, that's all I play. All I play is this game. And they're like, oh, okay.
The interesting thing too that I was a little surprised by, and it's like now starting to push back a little bit. Warframe has been incredibly easy so far. Like there's hardly ever been any resistance.
That feels like a catch-up thing.
Yeah, catch up.
Maybe, yeah.
That, like they change the difficulty over time so people can get through
Maybe
it all.
true,
Yeah.
yeah. Because now
Like
now
Destiny
that
gets
I'm
insane kind
Oh
of.
yeah,
some parts.
like Destiny
Yeah.
definitely I got skilled out sometimes where I was just like later in a raid where I'm
like,
just
oh,
like
this is
I
tough.
literally don't have the DPS to win. And that's happened to me once in Warframe when I forgot I had my leveling weapons equipped and I went into a boss fight and I literally couldn't
oh,
deep
shit.
sit fast enough to die, and I had to quit the mission and go back in. Then I went in with my Obex and killed it in 2 hits and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, ridiculous
Just
video game.
depends if you want to keep up with the like that hamster wheel, the grind of like
Yeah.
whether it's gear. To,
I
like,
do
keep
wonder
up
if
you
it-
want to do that content.
If it gets harder, if I'll just stop, I don't know. I'll find out what I'm like later.
All right, it's time for the December sales report,
Nice.
along with 2023 full sales report
Nice.
wrap-up from Matt Piscatella of Circana.
Hell yeah.
I'm Matt Piscatella.
Hello, Matt.
Hello, hello.
Talking about live service games, make sure you get Solid Snake in Fortnite. It's in 5 days.
Aha.
Solid Snake. I don't know if you need to like pay any money at all. I don't know how it's gonna work, but he's coming in 5 days. So
Shit,
Nice.
yeah.
if you want that one opportunity, that's it. Then he's gone
Wait, what?
forever. Because it's not a shop thing. It's a season. These seasonals never come back.
So you get one shot, but for the whole season.
Yeah, till the remainder of the
Right.
season.
So you got like a couple of months.
a month or so.
A month.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought,
Wow.
Sorry.
for a second, I thought you meant you could only get it in 5 days and that was it.
No,
I was like, holy shit.
throwing that out.
Fortnite
there.
doesn't fuck around.
But with a sales report, annual U.S. spending on video game content, hardware, and accessories reached $57.2 billion in 2023, an increase of 1%
Huh.
compared to 2022.
So it's increased, yet we've had record layoffs. Mm-hmm. How does that make sense?
we'll get to some of that. But
Capitalism.
God.
December spending grew 4% compared to last December to $7.9 billion in that month. Fortnite featured the highest unique monthly active users on both PS5 and Series X or
Yo,
Series.
that Lego
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet,
Rock
I
Band
bet.
launch was insane.
Yeah.
So many people at once.
Wait, Rock Band?
Or Guitar Hero.
Yeah, the Fortnite Festival, the
Festival.
harmonics thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know about that?
I knew about the Rocket League thing and the Lego thing. I
Yeah, there
didn't
was
know
a
about-
three.
And Rocket
They
League.
announced three
What
at the
the
same
fuck?
time. Yeah.
It's insane.
Pump the brakes.
Tons
man,
of
that's
songs
crazy.
too. Like
Yeah.
tons of artists.
And you can play it?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Mm-hmm. All right.
They're working on actually making the Rock Band controllers compatible too.
Yeah. It's next.
Yeah.
We got a whole damn band in the other
Yeah.
room. Can we
It's a high
stream it?
priority.
Probably not.
Damn it.
I have licensed music set to off, but all of those songs still come through on my speakers. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't know,
it's
but
still gonna. There's still gonna be.
CMA'd or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's not because it's cleared.
it's not cleared. Are you sure?
Yeah, we had that pop up before.
Okay.
On one of your
All right.
Trying to get
one
us
of the
up,
event
guys.
things.
Because
Yeah.
even like the Michael
The
Myers,
Eminem thing.
the
yeah.
Michael Myers John Carpenter
Right.
emote
Would
will
not
not
do it.
play when licensed music is set to off.
Right.
But the other, like the Weekend, will play.
Yeah.
And there's a Weekend skin. It's got to be cleared blood.
It's not cleared.
All right.
That stuff's not cleared. Or sometimes it'll be cleared, but
Call
for
Jeremy.
like this weekend, and then it's after that it's not cleared.
Got
I
it.
guess,
be-
yeah,
believe you.
getting a license in perpetuity for that would not be
Yeah.
cost effective, probably, for them.
The weekend, one weekend only.
Yeah.
So that was that was the highest active users on PS5 and Xbox. Highest on Steam.
Are you
Counter Strike
asking?
2. Counter Strike 2.
Nope.
Oh, Overwatch.
Nope.
It's not even on. Is it on Steam now?
It is, I think.
Lethal Company.
Oh my
my
god!
goodness.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that he sold like 50 million copies or some shit.
I don't know the
Wow,
number on
dude.
sales, but yeah, that
But, like, a
most
lot.
active users on
In
Steam.
52 million is
Incredible.
$52 million. I can't remember what it was, but like, I remember Sophia told me that, and I was like, "That's one person
Wow.
Yeah.
just made that much money
Yeah.
off of this beautiful, perfect video game."
That's crazy.
That's not finished.
That
Anywhere
isn't
close
even
to
finished. Version 47 right now, or 42 or something.
Inclusion in subscription offerings helped several titles see boosts in active user counts. On PS5, Power Wash Simulator was 9th in monthly active users, up from 318th
Whoa!
What the
Because of
F?
Final Fantasy?
because it was in a subscription.
No.
Oh.
It was on a subscription. So people jumped in.
And Back to the Future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And on Xbox, Goat Simulator went from 245th to 7th place.
Because of being on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Video game hardware spending fell flat year to date. Hardware was the same, 6.6 billion. Growth in PS5 dollar sales helped offset declines with both Xbox Series and Switch for the year. PS5
Switch 2
ended
announcement
2023 as the best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollars.
PS5.
Yeah.
$599
US
US dollars. God, it's my favorite ever.
Would the Portal be included in that number, or is it
No,
separate?
no. That's
Okay,
a different thing.
Okay.
And he was saying it's really severely limited by the supply
Yeah.
right now for Portal. So it's like they're
Oh,
just
Portal's
selling what they've made. So.
Impossible to find.
Yeah. But even though Xbox was down for the year, they had the highest month for the Xbox Series so far in December.
Get it. Gear up for that Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Ah, dude.
Gear up.
Christmas shopping. Keep buying Xboxes. Accessory spending finished 4% higher than a year ago. 7% increase in sales of gamepads drove growth. The DualSense Edge, best-selling gamepad of 2023 in dollar sales.
I have one.
I have a personal vendetta against DualSense.
But you have an Edge.
Maybe I need to invest.
That might be why. It's like, all right, if I'm going to buy another controller again,
to get you to buy it.
I've never had drift on a PlayStation controller,
It's insane.
and you've had it like 8 times.
I've seriously had it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I have 4
Two of our
drifted
controllers here have
controllers.
drift right now too.
I have
Maybe
4.
you're doing something to them. You
I
secrete
play
a drift.
so I wash my hands before I play. I
secrete
do
a
not
drift
eat
fluid.
food when I play. Like I don't
I
understand.
don't think that has anything to do with it.
I think that
rotate.
does.
I rotate controls too, so I'm not even like pounding one super hard because I'm
I think
rotating.
you need to eat food while you're playing because it greases the inner mechanics of the controllers. They count on that. You're keeping your controllers too clean. They're drying out.
I've got the top 20 for December here.
Let's do it. I just saw the first one, Buck.
We've got one new game
For the whole year?
Name.
for December.
Only one.
Oh, December.
Avatar.
There you go.
Whoa,
Jack
Don.
sixth place.
Sixth place.
Which one?
Yeah.
Get it, Avatar. Get it, Don.
Oh, Avatar, yeah.
Small. That makes me feel good. sold some
Glad something
copies.
can.
They sold some copies. Huh?
Don, I am seeing. It is quiet but loud. The amount of respect for this Avatar game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people talking it up.
Oh yeah.
Don loves it.
I love it. Just play Explorer mode.
Mm-hmm.
Start in Explorer mode. Never leave.
Oh, yeah.
Does that turn off combat or what does Explorer mode
No,
do?
just the waypoints and shit.
Yeah, it's about, rather
Right,
than telling you
immersion.
exactly where
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go. Yeah. Anything else you want to think might have popped in here?
Well,
Darkest Dungeon 2.
Lethal
No.
Company.
No, those guys don't get tracked,
Oh,
unfortunately.
it's digital. Yeah.
I mean, digital
well-
games do get tracked, but sometimes the smaller.
A little smaller
Indie.
one.
curious
Like
about
that,
some drop-offs. So let's see where did Super Mario Wonder end up?
Super
Oh.
Mario Wonder is still in second place. Actually
Wow.
went back
Alright.
up to second. It was fifth last month.
Damn.
I mean,
Okay,
that is a
we're-
Christmas game.
Call of
Yeah.
Duty.
Call of Duty's number one.
Christmas.
we're-
That's a
We're
Christmas
Spider-Man
game.
2.
Spider-Man is
Spider-Man 2,
fifth
3?
place.
Fifth.
Whoa. Okay. Didn't expect that.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts is at fourth.
Elden Ring still on there?
16th. Up from 41.
Whoa.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
No.
No.
Did
Even
we
after
get
the
third
trailer
already?
hype.
Did we get third already or no?
Third, you did not.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
No.
FIFA. What's
Uh,
the latest sports?
EA Sports FC was seventh place.
Yo, the Red Dead, Damian, you're shaking your head. The Red Dead 2 player count is the highest it's been in years. So you don't scoff at me.
You weren't
But
far
aren't
off
those
with that
sales not
guess.
reported?
His insanity is
Or,
founded.
like the,
You weren't far off with that guess, though.
Which one?
You're-
FIFA?
Yeah.
You're right.
Madden.
Damiani.
Yep. Madden's in third.
Yeah.
Madden.
One kind of football.
Probably
NBA 2K.
all. Oh wait, that was
There's a
last
little
month.
kick.
I was gonna say it was gonna probably went up this month because all the sad fans, the Cowboy fans who they're one and done playoff, gotta go get their NFL fix.
I have two theories on why.
God
Madden
damn it,
jumped-
no!
I have two short.
We're already over 2 hours.
I have two very brief theories.
Done!
Very brief.
We
I'm
don't
just
need
gonna
'em.
say, I won't explain them. I'll
wanna
just
hear
say
'em.
what they are. I'm not going to explain them. The
All right.
first theory, playoffs started. The second theory, the Goodell crime syndicate
Goodell
is juicing the numbers. That's it. Go.
Okay. Okay. NBA is at ninth.
I'm gonna dock your pay.
All right.
Final Fantasy, any of them.
Final Fantasy, any of them.
Yeah.
So 16 would
Revert's
No,
coming.
no
Give
Final
them time. They're
No,
gonna release
okay.
a Final
Yeah.
Fantasy Exodus.
Did
any
Mario
of them.
Kart make it back on there? Because
Mario Kart is back. It's at 10th.
Made
It was
back?
21st last month. It just slipped
Wow.
off last month. and
Christmas.
It's back. Yeah.
Holiday
And
break
back.
for sure.
holiday break. I feel
Pokemon.
like there's okay.
No Pokemon.
Was Mario 3D World back in there or no?
3D World.
Not 3D World. Yeah, no.
Mario.
That what was the one on sale? Usually the ones that go on
Bowser's-
sale.
Bowser's Fury or
Bowser's Fury.
No, that's part of it.
Yeah, there's no other
Odyssey?
Mario.
Odyssey?
No other Mario. Okay, no other
Mario RPG only was digital, right?
Mario RPG is no. It's there. It's 11th place.
Oh, okay. I thought it was digital.
Damiani, I started playing that, dude. I got like 4 stars.
Nice.
What?
Mario RPG.
Ah,
Sick.
Nice.
Let me go down the whole list.
yeah.
20th, UFC 5.
You're going up the list.
Sure. 19th, Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Mirage.
18th, Just Dance 2024.
Shout out to Mirage,
Hell yeah.
dude. I love it.
Shout out to
Just
Just
Dance.
Dance.
Shout out.
17th is Tears of the Kingdom.
Sure.
16th is
Oof.
Elden
Okay.
Ring.
Here's a kingdom getting close to slipping off.
I was doing the math the
Yeah.
other day. 2 years
It
ago.
slipped off last
almost,
month.
Elden
Elden Ring.
Ring.
It's back.
Still
I
no
know,
DLC.
but like for December,
Let it cook.
that's like
Let it
with the
cook. You know?
holiday sales. That's not a good
What's the longest?
sign.
What's the longest gap between like the base release of a game and DLC? I wonder.
Any game ever or a Souls game?
Any game ever?
Oh wow.
Oh, there's been some
Years
long. Yeah, because we're on 2 years.
Not
2 years
counting
is
fan-made
hefty.
mods.
Yeah, not fan like official DLC.
Yeah,
I
2
wonder.
years is.
That's hefty.
Elden Ring came out 2 years ago.
2 years ago. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yowza, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
Almost 2 years. In like 2 months, it'll be 2 years.
Right, because it was
Yeah.
like February or March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we got that new chapter with Xenoblade when they remastered it.
Yeah.
I'll count that.
Yeah.
Let's count that. Count that.
15th is Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Hey, all right.
Nice.
14th.
Yo, patch 8 just came out. If you're still waiting, now 100% definitive time to play Jedi Survivor. It is fully.
That's a full game, dude.
Dude, yes. Fully patched. Patch 8 just dropped.
Nice. 14th, God of War Ragnarok.
Nice.
13th, Minecraft.
Nice.
Of course.
12th, Sonic Superstars.
Wow.
Oh,
11th is Mario RPG. 10th is Mario Kart 8.
Nice.
9 is NBA 8. Mortal Kombat 1.
Hey.
Combat.
Still sitting in there.
It's got legs.
7, EA Sports FC. 6 is Avatar. 5 is
It's a
Spider-Man.
good game.
4 is Hogwarts. 3 is Madden. 2 is Mario Brothers Wonder. 1 is Call of Duty. But we also have the 2023 full year list.
It's funny because Baldur's Gate
Baldur's Gate's just not tracked.
does not track because
Digital
it was one of the best-selling
world.
games of the year, I think.
Digital. Wow.
It beat a couple of those.
But did it beat GTA 5 this year?
Ever?
This year.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
It
I don't
totally
know.
did.
I mean, it doesn't have in-game transactions, so probably not financially.
But yeah, looking at the full year list,
GTA 5.
GTA it hasn't been on any month, but you want it to be on the full year.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's not there.
Call of Duty.
yeah.
Call of Duty
Number 1.
Is number 2.
Modern Warfare 3 is number 2.
Yep. Number 1's
Then
Hogwarts
was
Legacy.
Hogwarts
Number 1 is
number 1?
Hogwarts. This is the
Baldur's
upset.
Gate outsold Hogwarts.
Did it?
Apparently.
Hogwarts was like 22 million.
Hogwarts is the number 1 selling game of the year.
Maybe it's just on Steam or something. Sophia was telling me that it outsold
Maybe
it on
Steam.
something.
Maybe on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could Google it, but I
yeah.
don't want to.
Hogwarts
corrections.
Legacy finished as
Yeah.
2023's
I can say
best-selling
whatever
video
I
game
want.
in the U.S. market in dollar sales, the first year since 2008 that a non-Call of Duty or Rockstar developed title ranked first. And in 2008, that was Rock Band.
Crazy.
Rock Band was the one who did it. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, Rock Band was quite a moment in history, those games.
Call of Duty was still the best-selling franchise
It's so
for a record 15th consecutive year.
It's so wild that Modern Warfare 3 was ripped to smithereens,
And it's second place.
and it's number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, because Call of Duty Modern Warfare
the video
2
games
is
industry-
in 7th place as well.
Like, on the whole. Like, summed up.
Yeah.
So you got 2 Call of Duties there.
Hey, multiplayer's solid, I feel like, in Modern Warfare 3.
Sure.
Yeah, it's solid.
Sophia was playing it.
Anything else you
fucking
think should be
zombies.
on the full year?
Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah, right.
No.
No.
I mean, is Super Mario Wonder on that list or no?
Super Mario Brothers Wonder is on that list. It is 12th place without digital counting.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mario.
Tears of the
Okay.
Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom is 5th.
Fifth.
Nice.
Nice.
Is Elden Ring still
How
Spider-Man
many-
should be on that list.
How many million is that?
I don't know, but it's not what you think.
It's not 50.
Not-
It's
nowhere
not
near
near
50.
50 million.
If Hogwarts is 22, I mean,
This is 1 year, Damiani. Zelda games sell forever.
Yeah.
Forever. You walk into a store, Twilight Princess on whatever is $50. Yep.
but Elden Ring did get on there. That was 18th.
Okay. And
All right,
Spider-Man
where's
up
Spider-Man?
there.
Spider-Man is 4th.
Fourth. Console exclusive.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
God of War Ragnarok.
Your Breath of the Wild's still $50, right?
I don't fuck.
And Tears of the Kingdom, aren't they the same price, Damiani?
Probably, yeah.
Isn't that insane?
No, Breath of the
Breath
Wild
of
is
the Wild
60
had-
and Tears is 70, right?
Okay.
Breath of the
Yeah,
Wild
Tears is
had a
70.
sale.
Right.
I bought a
They
copy of
charged
Breath of the Wild
extra for
40.
Tears so that they could keep Breath of the Wild the same price.
No, Huber's argument was
I
that
bought it
like
at
this
Target for cheap
Zelda
for, like,
games, old Zelda
$39.
games keep selling forever, and that's
Forever,
like,
dude.
That's false, but
Not in the
whatever.
way you mean. It's more Nintendo doesn't do price cuts as much outside of like limited window sales for their first party games.
All right. Check this number in 2 years, dude. When it's on this list next
We'll
year,
see the
when we are
numbers in the
here
Nintendo
January
sales
next year,
reports, but yeah.
and it is on the list on like 15 more million copies, number eighth best-selling game of the year, Tears of the Kingdom.
Mario Kart on there?
Talk to
Mario
me
Kart's
next.
still
Not
there,
hitting
19th.
50 million
19th.
copies unless they like
19th.
make a.
Stop here, Damiani.
Triggered.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8. Old freaking game.
Yeah.
19th place.
Mario Kart
For
games is out
this
forever.
year,
That's what I'm saying.
2023.
And Zelda.
Not Mario Kart numbers.
No, it's not.
How many has Mario Kart sold?
Like 30, 50 million or what?
Has it hit 50? Because Mario
I
Kart
think Mario
sells
Kart has hit 50.
way more than Zelda.
Is
yeah.
it like 90 something or something?
No.
No.
No, it's not 90. Okay. No.
It's a lot, though.
57 million.
57. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was in
Mario
8
Kart.
Deluxe.
400-year-old game
Still going.
sold. It's in the top 20 every year, and
Tears of the
it's
Kingdom
barely
is
over 50.
It's not. It's just not.
I will buy you a car.
We already have stakes for this bet, so I don't remember
Yeah.
what they are.
Okay, I don't remember
Yeah.
those.
I still have time. I
Red
still
Sky
have time.
remembers. Red Sky remembers.
Yeah.
10 years from now, Huber's going to call Isla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you want me to go down the full list?
Yeah.
20th, Minecraft. Still hanging on there.
You're going up,
Crazy.
but yeah.
19th, Mario Kart 8. 18th, Elden Ring. 17th, Street Fighter 6.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I guess you're going
Dude.
down in numbers, but
Yo,
up
that's
Sold
is
3 million
six.
copies worldwide, so we know that's 3 million.
So we know where that gap is, right? So 3 million
Yeah.
is at 17th, 22 million is
That,
first.
yo,
yeah.
I want everyone to take a beat and think about that for
Yeah.
real. Think about how many games came out in 2023. You know, it's easy to lose sight of numbers as I do often. You know, especially in the social media age, everything is like compared to the highest. You know, it's like, oh, you didn't sell like 10 million copies, like fail, or like, you know, box office numbers. Like numbers
Right.
are such a big thing. The 18th best-selling game of the year, 3 million copies.
17th, but yeah.
17th.
Yeah.
So
And what was it? Mario or Minecraft?
Street Fighter 6.
crazy to
Street
think
Fighter
about.
Yeah.
Wow, Street Fighter did well.
So
Holy
if you
shit.
sell 1 million copies, just 1 million,
That's
like,
great.
you're
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
16th, Final
Especially if
Fantasy
you're an indie
16. That's
And they
amazing.
reiterated, and they're
Yeah.
16 for 16.
That's great.
That's fate.
That's great. Does that include
yeah, that
digital?
includes everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
This list is like not fair. Like Nintendo should be like the top besides.
Right, Nintendo's doing it to
oh, it should be
themselves.
noted
Yeah.
too. We're only going over the U.S. numbers, and the full sales numbers are
Right.
full worldwide. So, on
So
some
wait,
of those
this is
games.
number one. This is sales just in U.S.,
Yeah.
not global.
Yeah.
I mean, those global
We've been doing this
leaderboards.
for 10 years, Hubert.
No,
We've
no
always
one
done
does
sales
global
numbers.
except
Michael
the
Huber,
individual
The only
publishers.
global you're going to get
Yeah.
is from Sony and Nintendo directly.
That's right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You probably have told me that 15
Oh,
times.
at least a couple.
All right.
I didn't know it either.
Good.
15 is Dead Island 2.
Yo.
Holy shit. That's weird.
Feel the kills.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Sick game.
14th, MLB The Show.
Nice.
13th, Resident Evil 4.
Oh hell yeah.
Sick.
12 is Mario Brothers Wonder.
So what do we think there? Maybe like 5-6 million range there guesstimation.
Sure.
Yeah.
11th is Starfield. 10 is
5 or
EA
6
Sports
million?
FC.
It was in the teens already.
Yeah, but 17 was 3 million.
I feel like Resident Evil 4
First
is like
is 24
5 plus,
million.
I would
Yeah.
guess.
So yeah.
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 9th is Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Nice.
8th is Mortal Kombat 1.
Crazy.
7th
Mortal
is
Kombat sold better than.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
the
that makes
case.
sense.
It's
Oh, yeah.
definitely more
Yeah, yeah.
mainstream.
Yeah, it's more
For
mainstream.
sure. Easier to pick up. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
7th is Modern Warfare 2. 6th, Diablo 4.
Diablo
yeah.
4.
5th is Tears of the Kingdom. 4th is Spider-Man 2. 3rd is Madden
Yeah.
for the full year.
The Goodell Prime Syndicate.
But that's the thing, Hubert, you're talking about that with Call of Duty. Same thing with Madden. Like, everyone's talking about how bad that game is.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Lot of
make,
anyways.
doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah.
Just
just buy
doesn't
it.
make sense.
Just look at Pokemon. It doesn't matter.
Don't
The game,
they have to
the game
find the
doesn't
funds
matter.
somewhere
It's
to pay the
it's
rest,
just
The
right?
brand.
Now you're putting things together, Damiani.
2 is Modern Warfare 3. 1st is Hogwarts, as we said.
Great.
And then because it's the full year, I usually don't go over these, but I will do the top 10 mobile 2023.
Finally.
Top 10 mobile.
Monopoly Go.
I have never even heard of that.
Yeah.
There's a Monopoly Go? Are you serious?
What is even
This is based on U.S.
that?
consumer spending.
Yo, are you serious? dude?
Monopoly Go, Candy Crush Saga,
Okay.
Roblox,
Haven't heard of
Royal
that.
Match, Coin Master,
Getting this now. Downloading.
Heard of
Pokemon Go,
that. Never heard of that.
Gardenscapes, Jackpot
Never
Party
heard of that.
Casino Slots, Township and Evany. And I
That's
don't know
one
if
game?
Township is a game and Evany is a game, or if Township and Evany is a game.
Wait, number
Okay.
2
There's
was
not a comma there,
Jackpot
so I don't know.
Casino.
If they're separate games
right.
or one game.
Wait, do you win real money in Monopoly?
Monopoly Go, dude, I'm telling you right now.
I don't know. I don't
Halfway
know.
done.
No, you don't. Okay.
But Isla, for a temporary moment, you need to switch spots with Don. Get Don on
Okay.
this desk. All right, Don.
Yes.
The last podcast episode, you spent the whole time playing Momodora,
Yes.
Moonlit Farewell.
Yes.
Tell us about this game. It's part of a long-running series. It's been going kind of under the radar for a lot of people.
Yes.
First 2 were Itch.io, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think they're free still on their website, on the developer's website.
Oh,
so
really?
If you check it out, I
But
believe so. I
you
heard that.
can buy them on Steam, though. Yeah.
Not the first 2. On Steam, they have 3, 4, Moonlight Reverie,
okay.
and then the new one.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
And then
So
4 is a prequel, and 5 is now after 3.
Yes.
I looked
So
all into the timeline.
Good.
Don.
So yes, 5
Momodora
is important.
timeline.
The
Yeah.
culmination. They've said it right. This is going to cap off the Momodora series. So yes, Blood, 5 Momodora games, and a lot of you out there are probably going, "What in the heck? How do I not know about Momodora?" That's where I was very recently. I only found out about this franchise earlier in the year. Platforming action adventure that has gotten more Metroidvania, it seems, as the franchise has gone on, and the new one is definitely a classical Metroidvania in every sense of the word, what you'd expect from it. First of all, the thing I want to just talk about is the storytelling, right? Because you're saying 5, and this is a culmination. Can
Yeah.
Can I just jump right in? They do an excellent job with the story, the narrative in a couple of senses, I think, with this game. First, it just gets right into it, and the story's going, and you're finding out what's happening through the characters you're meeting and through what's happening, and there's not like any long setup or lore dumps or anything that's happening. You're just like right into it, and they do a really nice job of just getting you all the information as you're going to figure out what's happening without giving you too much too early, just what you need when you need to know it. So it's very nicely done, I think.
Nice.
They also do a good job of like referring to make it clear when you are sort of like either coming in contact with a character or a situation that does have history in the other games, and not necessarily spelling out what that is, but making it, so you can tell it's a reference to something, but at the same point, you're understanding where you are right now. So it doesn't matter. But they also include some things in there also that spell out a little more of the previous lore if you want to get
Nice.
into it. Probably nothing better than just if you want to really have the payoffs fully pay off. I'm sure it's worth it to go through the original games, all of them at least, and play
Sick.
thoroughly, which I haven't. Anyway, this one, the setup, very briefly, is you're in a small village. You're a magical priestess named Momo, okay? You have a sister named Dora, and this one you're Momo. You're playing as the main character. And this black bell from this neighboring fairy village has been stolen by this mysterious entity. We don't know at the beginning who stole it, but they're ringing this bell, okay? And what this bell is doing is bringing these demons from the outworld or wherever they're coming from into the forest, into the village. Into the village. I'm sure it's some version of the outworld. Into the village.
It has begun.
Momo's village. And so this is a terrible thing that you're now starting your quest to figure out not just who did it, but find out how you're going to stop this. The control. So you start off in your village and you basically just you begin exploring this dungeon underground, rooting out these demons. working your way to the fairy village, et cetera, et cetera. The control and the platforming and the feel of the gameplay feels really good. It's a heavy, solid kind of like platforming control. You know, you stick the landing on everything. You have kind of a little bit of a slower movement at first, but it feels really nice for me. This is how I like, especially for any precision platforming sections, anything like that. I always like it to feel nice, heavy, and kind of a little bit plotting. You're predicting where you're going to hit every time. You know what you're going to do. You know,
So it
you're not
feels
having any
nice.
surprises. It feels very good. Yeah.
Nice.
Your
That's
main,
like the most important thing.
yeah, for me, it feels good to move around and traverse the world. So that's an excellent thing. It looks, obviously, first and foremost, I should say, before I get into anything else, it looks awesome. Pixel art, beautiful. This whole series has just, every edition seems like it's just becoming more finessed, more beautiful, not just with the gameplay, but the look of it. And so the art in this is very appealing, and like character design, everything just super charming.
And it looks
cozy.
like they have some really big characters and bosses and stuff.
Yes,
too.
a lot of big giant bosses, which is always satisfying. And a lot of some of these characters too are rooted in the past, so you're getting these big payoffs in a lot of these encounters you're having. And that's what catches your eye in the trailer, the giant bosses and just the beautiful pixel art.
Is it like one of those things with those big bosses? Is it kind of like where you have to like you got to use your skills to like kind of like get up to a weak point, or can you like hit them anywhere? Or?
Some of them have weak points. Most of them is just like classic kind of pattern memorization. But I would say it's very satisfying and well-designed enemies, I would say. Like, I'm very satisfied with the enemy encounters, and especially the boss encounters. Some of them do have like, limited areas where you got to hit this and that, but it's all mainly just like old school pattern, memorization and stuff like this. Your main weapon, as it has been, is like a maple leaf. It's a leaf. Okay, when you swing it, it looks like a Struder sword. It does the Struder.
Okay.
It does the Struder kind of swipe.
Strider.
Yeah.
Just in case you're wondering.
Just in case.
Yeah.
But
Meme.
these maple leaf, that's your primary attack. So it's sort of, it behaves sort of like a sword, even though it's a leaf. And you're upgrading this to do different things. It gets elemental powers. It's able to, cut through an access point, so shoot projectiles, all sorts of things like this that you would with any Metroidvania. You have a bow from the very beginning too.
Oh, okay,
which
nice.
is awesome. Yeah, so bow off one of the bumpers, I think, anytime. But you do have a stamina meter, so the bow is connected to the stamina meter, which is nice. So that first shot is like big impact. But then if you're firing off shots after that without letting it recharge, they're like weaker, super weak. You know what I mean? So it's a nice.
What is the arc like on the bow? Is it like a straight on? Okay.
Yeah, and later though, obviously, so there's sigils. There's all kinds of ways of modifying your build and all of that. But yeah, everything is straight with the bow off the bat. You've got these sigils also, another element. So yeah, it's a Metroidvania in a very classical sense, I would say. Like very traditional style of Metroidvania.
Combat feels good.
Yeah, the combat feels nice. They've got these sigils, which they add to the mix, which is a whole large set of these cards that you find, collectible cards that give you buffs and all kinds of modify your build with these cards. You can use, at the beginning, you have 2 slots, active slots. You can swap them out anytime just by going to the menu to choose to which, and you're finding them hidden around. You're also earning them for beating certain enemies. And also, you've got a little friend, Cereza, and she is also sort of like your partner in this adventure that's not constantly with you, but you're coming across her throughout the dungeon in random places. And you can pay her crystals to make you some sigils, but you also just have like cozy moments where like you can be like, I want you to make me sigils, or I want you to make me, or just talk or whatever, and you can talk, and you got just like one early example. She's just like, okay, I can make you dinner, and you suddenly have just like a like separate scene where she's laying out a little of the story, but you're like sharing this cozy dinner in the middle of the dark, in the bottom of this dungeon. Cool. It's just always a nice little moment to stumble across Cereza during this. You're exploring the world, and you're finding these berries that are everywhere, different kinds of magically imbued berries that you're eating. I always like that, and that's what's giving the upgrades to your magic, health.
So those
all
are
the
essential.
standard things. Yeah, so the berries are what you're seeking out that are upgrading your main stats. And the other thing that's a little bit unique about it that I want to bring up is the companions. You get these little companions, which are just like little creatures or mystical, magical entities
Familiars?
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and each one of them then they now are visually represented, so you can choose at any time. You can switch who your companion is, and they're right there next to you, and so they're coming along with you wherever you are if you have them active in your thing. Anytime you can just not have a companion active too. They do things like, one of them would give you healers, they can help you explore to find little hidden things, and then you can use sigils in conjunction with them to upgrade their abilities of whatever they do and stuff like that. So that's fun. And also just the character design of the little companions is cute as hell. They're just awesome. Really good design on your little buddies you're exploring with. And you have a sprint. You do unlock, it's like a sprint early on, and you eventually get the double jump. I'm not 100% sure. I know when I was talking to you, I was like, wow, they really hold back on this double jump for a while. I suppose it could have been possible. I'm not sure if I could have gotten it earlier or not, because I don't remember how that was accessible by the time I did get the double jump. But you get double jump, sprint.
Double jump can be later in a lot of games.
It felt like it was the fourth or fifth thing for me that they let me unlock. So it was a little later than usual. I was expecting to get it right away. So once you got your sprint, your double jump, and all
it's
that.
later in Ebenezer as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you're cruising around, and it feels especially good once you're unlocking all the extra movement things. You have the little roll dodge, which you can dodge through enemies, get a perfect dodge, and you'll be able to become invulnerable for a few moments and stuff like that, which is nice. That's mainly the rundown of it. It's great, enjoyable. I don't think it's doing anything crazy new or unexpected for a Metroidvania, but it's a very satisfying one. It's incredibly affordable. I think it's only $15 or something like that.
Well, I think it was on sale for the first week, so I don't remember what the actual.
Yeah, it's definitely under $20 full price.
Around the $20.
I don't think the full price is more than $20, so it's extremely worth it. And it's just great. Everything you see, and if you like what you see in the trailer, basically,
love what I see in the trailer.
Then you're going to be satisfied with the game because it feels good to control. It has a really nice story. The world is beautiful, and it's pretty fun. I mean, the only downsides at all that I've had to it at all so far is sometimes it can, all Metroidvanias, but in a very classical sense, you can be stuck and retreading ground in ways they're not always making things very clear on, and I think that's a common experience. It seemed like from some of the other stuff I've read. So that was one thing. It was just sometimes you're over exploring a couple little areas too bad, but nothing too bad. They do give you question mark indicators on certain parts of the map when you do bring up the map, so at least in certain areas you'll know there's something in this area,
that's good. I like that,
and stuff like that, but not all the times in terms of where you need to go to progress the story and stuff. They don't give you a lot of clues on that at all, so sometimes it's a little bit of back and forth with it and stuff like that. So and
it's Steam only, I know.
Yeah, so the
Steam
biggest
only,
drawback
and it
for
came
the
out
series,
right before Prince of Persia too.
I know. So the things working against it are those for sure. The fact that it's just
at least it's Steam only now, because Prince of Persia definitely took a lot of the hype from the Metroidvania. Hype meter.
The release.
So now that it's just on Steam, but then later on when they get those console releases, they'll have another.
I hope they will. I mean, I hope they will. I don't even know. I don't think the others are available on console.
I think one of them is. I think the fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So I got that on Steam also. Yeah, so it's a good game. I'd recommend it very. The last, for instance, out of indie Metroidvanias, I know there's so many, right? The last one that stuck, I started thinking in my mind, the last one that I played a lot that I really enjoyed for indie style was Mummy Demastered, which was already years back.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
that was a long time ago,
that
dude.
was right. What was that? 5?
The Mummy.
I want to say 5 years ago, but I don't know if it was that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was trying to think if there's another one that I've enjoyed as much as Momodora since then that I've played, and I couldn't. Maybe there is one, but it just wasn't popping into my head.
Blasphemous.
So I'm going to stick with Momodora and Mummy Demastered. Yeah. Blasphemous so hard. So
Nice.
that's my take on it, and I
Sick.
recommend it strongly to anybody that
I really want to play it, Don. I gotta find time. It is so high on my list. It is right there.
The music too, beautiful.
Yeah.
Kind of mellow, melancholy. I would describe it as,
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
the whole vibe of the game, and that's what I like.
Yeah. So it's a
Yeah.
nice little game to just get lost in the wee hours of the night to play. That's a nice time for you. I
Yeah,
think you'd recommend it for you.
Oh,
Hoover.
my God. Damn
Nice.
it.
Yeah. So that's it. Momodora. Check it out.
Thanks, Don.
Moonlit farewell. And now I will say my moonlit farewell. Peace.
Also this week, all right, I hate having to do these, but the layoffs this
Oh my
week.
God.
Lost Boys Interactive. They were a support team on Tiny Tina Wonderlands.
right.
The game's standout success could not stop the studio from experiencing sizable cuts as Embracer does everything it can to get cash. Behavior Interactive, makers of Dead by Daylight, is reportedly laying off around 45 people.
I feel like that game's doing better than it's
That
ever
hurts.
done.
Yeah, that
ever.
hurts.
But they had some side projects and stuff going, so I wouldn't be surprised if, like Meet Your Maker, I wonder if, they kinda,
Dude, I liked that game, but I bet nobody played it.
Yeah, I bet.
I bet nobody played it.
And I
like
think they had
Meteor
some other
Maker.
stuff in the can, too.
Did everyone go crazy during COVID and just like overextend?
Well, to that point,
that the
Thunderful is
excuse?
laying off 20% of its staff, around 100 people, after, quote, overspending in recent years. They're the ones that, basically a bunch of indie studios got together and made the Thunderful group. SteamWorld, Lonely Mountains, Downhill, Viewfinder, Planet of Lana were all under Thunderful. And I don't know anything about NetSpeak, but they are also laying off 25 people. All that stuff is this week. So,
Good God.
yeah.
Did they hit Image and Forum? Did they get hit? Do we know?
I don't know specifically within Thunderful who got hit, but
It's time for Dig 3.
It's time for Dig 3.
It's time.
yeah.
Image and Forum,
It's time.
we need Dig 3.
That's a Summer Game Fest joint right there,
SteamWorld
locked
Dig 3,
and
dude.
loaded.
Hit me.
Isla wants to tell us about a dog on GDQ.
Oh, yeah. So GDQ's happening. Peanut Butter, this beautiful little dog, did a run. I don't remember what the game is called, but it's like, I think it's a kid's game or something, but it's just like you hit a button and a pipe goes up or down. It's a blue pipe or a red pipe, and you hit the right button and it goes, and the guy auto walks and you just move the pipes.
That sounds fun.
Right? But they've trained this dog, Peanut Butter, who had a little bow tie on to be like, here's the cheese, and then he would go button, and then he'd push the button, and he'd go, okay, stay, and he would stay pushing the button, and then he'd go, okay, sit, and that was mostly it, and a couple of times I think it hit both buttons.
Oh, wow.
But it is an incredible run, and Peanut Butter is the best baby boy ever who ever lived. And the Yeti has, because they do
the shirts,
collaboration
yeah.
shirts. They have a Peanut Butter shirt of the dog,
Nice.
and I don't know what breed of dog. Maybe Shiba Inu or something.
Is it a Yorkshire Terrier crossed with a pangolin?
Yeah, crossed with Anubis. But the dog on the shirt is so cute. It's doing like a little Anyway, Peanut Butter,
Nice.
a true hero.
Just in case you are not aware, it's not the first time this has come up, but Rocksteady was never working on a Superman game.
Yes, this is very good.
It did not happen. Jason Schreier talked to people
Yeah.
familiar with the studio's projects, as well as the guy who mistakenly started the rumor, who said, I corrected it in a later tweet, but it never caught on.
Yeah, rumors and lies.
I sympathize.
Yeah.
Being in the biz, sometimes you're not always right.
Meanwhile, Rocksteady's founders, Jamie Walker and Sefton Hill, have reportedly started a new studio called 100 Star Games, supposedly referencing the size of the team they're looking to build. They won like a 100 developer team.
Make it 108. Sweet code in.
The stars, you're right.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
It hasn't been officially announced yet, but people find corporate listings, like anything.
Time
they
to
found the
change it.
name of Indiana Jones. They find stuff, data mining, all the stuff. What was it, Old Snake they found, right?
Leave the data. Leave the data alone.
Yeah.
Stop mining that
So
data.
we'll get an announcement about their studio sometime, I'm sure. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is the last 3DS game printed on the U.S. production line, going on sale through limited run games on January 26th.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow.
End of an era.
End of an era.
And they're just saying never again.
I mean, they basically had to the limited run had to push to get another publisher to help them out to get this production run ordered.
Wow.
Well, because sometimes they do old.
yeah, because somebody
Genesis
just put out
games.
the Game Boy card.
They
Yeah.
find they get us somehow specialty manufacturers, but this is the
somebody else.
official 3DS
okay,
manufacturer
okay.
for the US.
The
Yeah.
last one.
Yep. Square Enix has noted that Foam Stars uses AI art generated by Midjourney.
Uh-oh.
Quote, in this instance, we experimented with Midjourney using simple prompts to produce abstract images. We loved what was created and used them as the final album covers players will see in the game. Everything else was created entirely by our development team. So they have these little albums, vinyl records, or whatever in the game, and they just put some Midjourney prompts and put those on the albums.
Here's what you do. You go to the website Fiverr, and you pay like a 20-year-old in wherever to make you an album cover. Costs you like $10.
Right.
Just do that.
Yeah, and someone would be so hyped to do
Yeah.
that for a game.
It would be an honor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah.
But Damiani knows, the Square Enix CEO had just talked about this in his beginning of the year speech. It's like, we're going to be leaning heavily into AI.
Yeah.
Whereas last year's, we're going to be leaning heavily into NFTs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switch from one to the next, huh?
I'm ready for someone
We'll
to
be this year's new hot button like thing. They'll switch to that in 2025. Don't worry.
Blood robots.
Damiani, I'm ready for someone to use an AI program called Skynet.
Yeah.
I think it's out there.
I mean,
think it might
Soylent. They
actually
made
already exist.
Soylent as the food.
This is hilarious. Take-Two is reportedly in a trademark dispute with Remedy over their logo looking too much
This
like
is fucking
Rockstar's
insane.
logo. I don't know if you pulled this image, if you had, put it up. I guess Rockstar owns the letter R now. They
Yeah,
look
what the
nothing
F?
alike. They look
Wait,
nothing
did you not see
alike.
the update to this from Steven Totillo?
What was Totillo? What did he say?
The
I may or
update
may
is that
not.
this was
What
an
is
old
Totillo?
thing.
Okay.
This was an old thing that got like filed as a precautionary thing, and like the two companies already agreed this is a non-issue. It's done.
Okay,
done.
great.
Nothing's coming of this. Yeah.
We did
It's
it.
done.
But the fact
It was like
that
a, it was like a,
begin with,
it was like
so-
a filing that had like it was just a procedural thing they had like that Rockstar had to do, and then when they looked at it, like, oh, this is nothing. They reached out to the company like we're good.
Okay.
So he has a report, I believe. I believe it was Steven.
Like,
was
the
it
font is
Steven
not
or was
even
it Jason?
similar.
Was it Jason Schreier or was it Steven Totillo? Chad, I forgot. I actually forgot who did it, but I read that on like sometime this week in the middle of everything else.
Either case, a win for common sense. We
Yeah.
don't get enough of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Brought to you by the letter R.
RSTLNE.
Martha is Dead.
Yeah.
Getting a
Sick
film
game.
adaptation from Swedish film production company Studios Extraordinaires.
That could be a cool movie.
Were they getting a movie adaptation?
Yeah.
Was that? No, I was thinking of Made of Scare or whatever.
I streamed
Right.
this
That's
one
not
back in the day.
It's not an FMV game. This
No.
one.
No.
Right.
It's like a.
I heard it was very graphic.
Yes.
There are some graphic scenes, yes. Like the PlayStation version is like censored or something.
right,
even
right.
I forget. It's like a war set story. A lot of like walking around and interacting with things. Pretty slow paced, but pretty intense.
Nice.
Could make a really good movie.
Meanwhile, also, Until Dawn
Yeah.
is getting a film adaptation from David F. Sandberg and Gary Dauberman.
But what about?
Do you think they'll just
Until
cast
Dawn
the
2?
same actors?
They honestly should.
Sophia
would
and I
be
were
very
talking about
curious.
this. Where it's like,
Professionals.
where it's like it's not even that much later.
It's a good
Right.
cast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 8-9 years later.
yeah,
but
sure. Age them up a bit. Make it like a reunion.
Make it a
Playing
work
it- yeah,
party.
but that's the
or,
thing,
yeah,
yeah,
reunion. A reunion.
But wasn't it a reunion anyway? Whatever.
Yeah.
Same people.
But, you know,
Remy Malek is looked
It's
the
about
same
a bunch
forever.
of teenagers, so I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Change it slightly so it's like a 10-year reunion.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is a reunion in the anniversary of
Yeah.
their friend dying. Whatever.
Love
Just make it
Until
later.
Dawn.
Until Dawn rules.
So good.
Sweet version of Portal that was being developed for the N64 had to be shut down this week by Valve.
Oh, I didn't realize it was literally being made for the N64.
Yeah, it was running on N64.
Why are
That's
you
funny.
shutting this down? Who
because
cares?
Because it
it's
is-
using proprietary Nintendo libraries.
Oh.
Go for it, Damiani.
Yeah, Valve had no choice. It was illegal, 100% illegal. So they
Got
they
it.
don't want Nintendo on their ass. So
Yeah, because Valve doesn't really mind
Valve's
as much. when
backing
you
they,
use
down.
they
shit.
don't.
Yeah.
But
Backing
yeah.
down into the Nintendo
Nintendo's-
lawyers.
The Switch
Nintendo
emulator
hit
stuff
squad.
on like
Even
the Switch
Valve
emulator
is like,
stuff
oh,
on
shit.
Steam. They had to take those down. Yeah.
Yeah. you don't. Nintendo has no chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was saying that like there is another like engine that he could port it over to, but like he needs to get like the clearance from Valve and be like, hey, is this okay? And if he doesn't, he's not going to do that work because it's going to be a
Damn.
lot of work. But if you check out the videos and the like dev diaries he's done, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild that that game works at all. on
I've been
the
meaning to
64.
try that like prequel to Portal that everyone loves. Can't remember what it's called. Resurgence or it starts with an R, I think.
Yeah, I don't
I
remember.
played the Time one. That was sick. But like, there's like another one that looks really good.
Yeah, but he was like literally building like all the levels
So
from
wild.
scratch on N64.
That is nuts. How do you do that?
Human beings, dude.
Yeah. Crazy.
Rebel Wolves, a studio that was set up by former CD Projekt Red staff, has announced that their first game is called Dawnwalker.
Dawnwalker.
It is a story-driven,
It's a Blade
dark
prequel.
fantasy role-playing adventure, so they're staying in their wheelhouse for sure.
Nice.
It's currently in alpha, and they expect to show more later this year.
Great. Summer Game Fest.
Wimpiers.
An unannounced Halo Battle Royale was shelved after years of tidbits making the news. Certain Affinity was working on that, so apparently was not working out.
Damn.
Halo's still in a rough spot. GDC Awards nominations are out. We went over DICE and IGF last week, so we'll do the Game of the Year like we did last week.
Yeah.
The finalists are Baldur's Gate 3,
Yep.
Cocoon,
Yep.
Dave the Diver,
Sure.
Dredge,
Dredge.
Spider-Man 2,
Yep.
and Tears of the Kingdom.
Dredge hype. No Alan Wake 2, though. What's that about? Was that disrespect?
I don't know.
Dredge
that
took
about?
its spot. How do you feel?
Love Dredge.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
GDC is the one I like to pay the most attention to.
Yeah.
I try to get to that every year.
Damn. Alan Wake snubbed.
Probably going to GDC this year.
Nice.
And finally, after
Snubbed like Odenkirk.
8 years, Rock Band 4.
Most
I know,
Emmy
I
nominations
know.
of all time,
I know.
0 wins.
I know.
Yeah.
Most nominees to 0 wins. Yeah.
After 8 years, Rock Band 4 will be ending its weekly DLC releases on January 25th.
They've still been doing
Yeah,
weekly
wait, they haven't been-
releases of new songs every time.
That's more consistent than Easy Update.
Actually,
Maybe.
I never missed a week
Maybe,
until I
yeah,
canceled
maybe.
it. I never missed a week until I canceled it.
That is crazy.
And it went for more than
Yeah.
7 years. So I don't know how long ago Rock Band came out.
8 years.
Fuck.
Oh, they
beat
just
me.
got
They just
ya.
beat me. I almost hit 8.
Damn it. Yo, that is insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild. And they talked about like really like making sure that like they protect like what you've been owning and all of that stuff so that you still have access to it and all of that. So they're really, thinking forward. But like we said, the Fortnite thing is the next thing, and they're working on getting
That
those
makes
instruments
sense,
to work
yeah.
between,
And that's
so,
officially licensed with them. The Fortnite thing. That's bonkers.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
yeah,
You can do it 4 people too, and each one gets a different instrument.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, it's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect. Yo.
From
Pretty close.
Bam
Rufus has a cold
541. 20
Say the
years
name-
ago.
Say the name again. We were talking over.
Oh, Bam 541.
Nice.
20 years ago, Wired magazine readers awarded Duke Nukem Forever the Lifetime Achievement Award in their Vaporware Awards.
Yes, perfect.
At that point, the game was 6 years in the making, and it felt like it barely existed.
I love that.
That's very funny.
With hindsight, it probably shouldn't have.
yeah.
100,
yeah.
100% correct.
Now, let's say that Easy A steals this award concept. At this very moment, which unreleased game will you guys give this prestigious award to?
Vaporware.
Vaporware.
Silk Song.
If I was gonna say, if someone fucking says Silk Song,
I mean, that's on there for sure.
it's coming out. It's
a
coming
nominee,
out
at
this
least.
year.
It's a nominee.
Nominee.
It is-
I put
it is nominated.
let's put Metroid Prime 4. Let's
Metroid
put
Prime 4 is pretty good.
That's a great one.
Beyond
It's been
Good and
more than
Evil
6 years, hasn't
2.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is my pick.
Beyond
For
Good and
sure.
Evil 2 is actual Vaporware.
One-
Beyond Good and
100%.
Evil 2 is definitely mine.
That's
Definitely
my
mine.
pick. That's my
Yeah.
pick for sure,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Never mind.
We got Pikmin 4 at least.
Yeah. The Vitality sensor from Nintendo.
Oh, that was long confirmed to be gone. They talked about that. That's long gone. They know that's.
I'm sure Chad is yelling Agent, but did they ever officially cancel Agent or still just?
I
they
don't
let
know
it-
that
they
they ever
did.
did.
Yeah.
I thought they did finally.
I think they
put that back.
confirmed at some point, but I don't know that
Yeah.
they quote unquote officially canceled. I don't know.
Yeah.
Goodness. Matt Curran. Howdy, allies. My friends and I just completed our fantasy critic draft for the
Hell
upcoming
yeah.
year.
So did we.
And one thing about the list of releases stood out to me. Last year we had several highly anticipated sequels, whereas 2024 has a lot more unknowns and a lot less
Yeah.
high-profile releases overall.
For now, yeah.
I'm curious what the panel's expectations and emotions are for this year of gaming. Are you relieved that the cataclysmic wave of content seems to be subsiding.
Yes.
Do you prefer years with more sequels, or are you more intrigued by the mystery that awaits in 2024?
Definitely prepared for 2024 to not be an off year, but a little more relaxed. Like, we're not pumping the brakes, we're just letting up on the gas a little bit. Because 2023 was absolutely mind-blowingly insane.
Taking a turn, yeah.
Yes.
Slowing down slightly to not go off the road.
I don't know.
Exactly.
We got
Doesn't feel like that. Yeah,
Prince of Persia this
maybe-
week, Tekken
maybe-
8 next
maybe in a
week,
few months.
Final Fantasy coming up, Persona 3 Reload coming. Like, there's a
lot still, of course.
The next 3 or 4 months are pretty full.
Yeah.
And then
But the second
then
half
we
looks dry.
Yeah, it's slower
we
now.
never know what's happening.
They're
in the
gonna
second
fill it in, but I do think it probably won't be quite as breakneck
Yeah.
as 23. But
2023
yeah,
was unprecedented. It
it
was
was
insane.
bonkers.
I can't imagine it being that crazy again.
But it'd be like February 22nd or whatever has like 3 games
Right.
coming. Like
Oh, yeah, Infinite
huge
Warfare
games.
next week
Like,
too,
It's
right?
crazy.
Could be
What's next week?
crazier. We get a Switch 2 and a
That's
PS5
right.
Pro
Well,
this
yeah.
year in
Switch
the
2 is
fall.
coming.
I think that some of these gaps might be conspicuous for like things that haven't
We
been
get, like, a
announced yet, and then
new
like another
Mario
floodgate
Kart.
opens. Yeah,
Mario
Kart.
3D Mario. I
No
hope.
way.
3D Mario.
No
I
way.
hope.
What do you mean,
No
no
way,
way?
dude.
They're
So
gonna
pretty
launch
money.
with
No
Mario Kart.
way.
Come on.
I think they would probably want
No
to launch.
way.
I hope they launch with a 3D Mario and a Mario.
I almost
Kart.
feel comfortable saying whatever Huber says about Switch. Take the opposite.
Take the opposite.
the opposite of what Huber does.
He's like Online. If they don't like
no
a movie,
way.
it's a masterpiece.
Dude, Mario Kart? What kind of inside knowledge do you guys have?
It's a decade old. Like, why wouldn't
I don't
they?
think it's inside knowledge at all. It's like literally like
Not to
the
mention,
most
it is
obvious
starting to
thing
slip,
in the
right?
world.
Like, it was 21
starting to slip.
last month.
Finally, the break. Yep, we're seeing the break lights.
How long ago was that last DLC?
That was December.
3.
That was
100
recent.
years.
You think they're going to crank out another Mario Kart with this year when the last DLC was last
Those
month?
DLCs were being made for tour.
That was the
like,
last
they're-
wave,
Like, a
right?
lot of that stuff was just tour tracks
Crazy.
being reworked.
Crazy.
Signs of life. It's
Yo,
signs of life,
if
dude.
Mario Kart comes out-
it means that they've put people. I think it makes more sense because they put out a DLC for 8, because it means that they put more people back on the Mario Kart team
Yep.
because they're developing 9. So they were like, hey, you 30 people, puke out a DLC real quick, like, you know.
All right, I believe a Mario Party. I believe a Mario Kart's going to come out this year, but I still wouldn't put money on it if it was a bet.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I bet
I'm
you
uncomfortable there.
$5.
I'm uncomfortable there. If it comes out this year, I will come to the office like that whenever the next time I'm in after the announcement, dressed as Wario.
Okay,
There it is.
that's more than $5
Yeah.
outlay.
Yep.
Sure.
Red Sky,
Coming
Screaming
as-
Argonaut, get that thing down there.
Coming as
Yeah, somebody
Wario.
write that down.
If that is announced. If it releases this year. You said release.
Yeah.
If it is supposed to release this year,
Yep.
I will come as Wario.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's play a game. From Cody Spencer. Hello, allies. With your Game Awards coming up, I thought it was a good time to reflect back on some of your best reactions during 2023. In this game, I have listed several quotes from various EZA reaction videos.
Oh, funny.
The goal is to guess which ally said this and which game they were reacting to
And all from this year
from 2023.
or 2023.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
A tentpole event here, right out of the gate.
That sounds like Dawn.
Or Jones. But he wouldn't have been around.
That sounds like Dawn.
I do like to use tentpole.
That is
Yeah.
so Dawn.
But probably about something ridiculous and stupid.
yeah, I don't know what it's about. But my guess is Dawn. That's all I
Avatar.
got.
Avatar.
You got it. Dawn and Avatar.
Nailed
There you
it.
go.
Debbie and I are both just like, it's
Nailed it.
Avatar.
Hell yes.
What was that for though? When was it? When was that announced or whatever?
Probably the
Ubisoft
Ubisoft.
Forward.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord, okay.
Fuck yeah.
Incredible. Not
Paid
wrong.
off.
You're not wrong.
I was
You're not wrong.
Ooh.
They're back. Yeah. The cannon. Yeah.
Well,
That's me.
they're What was
Is it
the game?
about
That's me. I'm
Lost
doing
Vikings?
some LA Knight shit. But I don't know what it's about. Maybe Last
They're
of Us?
back?
No,
Yeah, they're
the remaster?
canon.
Their canon or the,
The canon.
They're back.
The canon.
Yeah.
What game's out of canon?
The canon. Yeah.
I don't know. What's that about?
Jedi Survivor.
This is
That Skull
Damiani.
and
Oh.
Bones?
Resident Evil 4.
Oh, I thought it was LA Knight. You
Oh.
said it
Oh,
like
the
LA Knight, didn't
canon.
you,
The
chat?
canon.
Yeah.
The canon and the castle level, of course.
Bloodworth straight up went, yeah,
Yeah.
let me talk to you.
Yeah, that's from the February State of Play.
Nice.
Yeah.
Walking in the woods with a flashlight is the best.
That's
That's
me.
Huber.
That's Huber and Alan Wake.
Yep.
Alan
Probably
Wake.
Alan
Wake
yeah.
2, Summer Game Fest.
Walking in the woods with
It
a flashlight.
is. It really is.
It's pretty freaky.
Connections, dude.
Probably me.
Yeah. Persona? Isla about Persona?
Or Talos, for example? Is it not me?
It is not.
Oh.
This is Huber and Damiani in unison for Naruto Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections
Connections, dude.
in the State of Play
Oh
in
my god.
Hell yeah.
February.
Because it's in the name. Oh my god.
These are hard.
These
Is
are
it
hard.
weird that I'm getting Anthem vibes?
That sounds
That's
like
That's
Isla.
Huber or me.
Isla, right?
About, yeah, what was the game?
Um,
What was that? There was
I
like,
think I remember someone
like-
else saying this.
Was it not the game? What was the
what is that game?
Also
beta
Avatar?
that came out? The one that
I
got
don't
popular
remember
for. Oh wait.
Wait.
No, I don't remember the name of it.
What is it? Describe what you're thinking.
All right, it's okay. That was me
Oh.
about Suicide Squad
Oh my god.
in the State of Play.
yeah.
I remember you saying that. I remember someone else saying that.
Nice.
I don't say things.
Zombies? Vampires? Vampire zombies?
That could be any of us. Blade.
You close? Yeah, you got it.
And me?
You.
And who?
You.
Huber?
I think
Damian.
I-
Blood. Gabby. Don.
It was Jones. Jones
about
came
Blade?
by for Blade
Yeah.
for
All right.
the Game Awards.
I knew it was Blade.
Blood loves freezing bosses.
That's me or you.
Didn't you just say that today? I think you just said that today in this
I'm not sure about that.
footage.
Maybe.
It's me
It
or
was,
you.
it was me or Huber, I feel like. Oh, hi, Raiders.
I think it's Isla.
Oh, I think I did say that.
Yeah.
Oh, what game was that? This
What
was
game is that?
recent, I
What game
think.
is that?
Was this
Freezing a
recent?
boss.
Can you tell us that?
I mean, they're all 2023.
Yeah, but
Freezing a
like
boss.
Blood Loves
It's like
Freezing
some
Boss.
RPG. It's RPG.
Are we like Final Fantasy
What is
16?
it?
This was Isla and Damiani. Pikmin 4.
Pikmin
Oh.
4.
You do love freezing bosses, though. This is not false.
I've got chills on my chills.
Oh, I remember that.
I don't remember. This is insane. This is hard.
Talos Principle? This one's hard.
Maybe me about God of War.
I could picture a few of us saying this. I could picture
Yeah.
any of us saying
This
this.
is a big one.
We've already done Alan Wake 2. Are there repeats?
For games, there are not repeats on games.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 7.
I was going to say Final Fantasy Rebirth, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
No?
Was it me?
This was Gabby
Oh.
on the GTA 6 trailer.
Oh.
Yes.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Chills on chills on chills.
I've got chills on my chills.
Corporate experiments, dude. Love a corporate experiment.
That's me.
Huber
Probably.
Yeah.
or
Corporate
yeah,
Who's-
Huber or Dawn.
Who's experimenting though?
Is there an aliens
Experiments,
game?
I Yeah, you already said Resident Evil.
Citizen Sleeper 2?
No, this was Isla.
Oh,
Well, I was
who
going to
said
say it
this,
was you or
actually.
me.
That's for Hi-Fi Rush.
sick.
Oh, okay. Corporate experiments, dude.
Fuck yeah.
I do love corporate No, I don't.
Just vibes. Entirely vibes. 100% vibes. And the vibes are right.
Me about Dragon's Dogma? I feel like I said something close to that, but that was in a preview, so it wasn't in
Me
the-
about Hellblade?
That is Huber for South of Midnight.
South of Midnight.
Oh, a correct quote.
Game looks
That is
sick.
full vibes, dude.
Looks so sick.
All right, last one.
Huber and I talk very similarly.
There's so much more to this game than I thought there would be. Oh, wait, there's so much more game to this game than I thought there would be.
I remember someone saying that, I feel like. I say that about all of these. There's so much more game to this game.
Blood about Fable. I don't know.
I feel like that.
I don't know.
I feel like I don't think Blood said that, but that's as far as I can go.
Interesting. Because that is you.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought it was me, but I
That
didn't
is
want to.
Isla talking about Redfall.
Red oh my god. Yowzas.
In a bad way. There's so much more game to this game.
All right, it's time for bets. All right, last week, we had an issue of stakes. Y'all tried to talk me into some nonsense. Scratch all that.
I forgot to send you steak.
Oh, I just remembered I forgot too, but
Nobody sent me any stakes, so these are the stakes.
I came up with some stakes. Oh, okay.
These are the stakes.
I was gonna say that someone had to do a roller skate dance video, but then I was like, I don't want to make people buy roller skates.
The winner in the 2025 season, you will be crowned the fancy one.
No.
You know, in the 2025 season, you will be crowned the fancy one.
I get it. I caught up.
The winner of the 2024
Yeah.
season. Okay.
I get it.
You can simply go buy the fancy one. You can attach it to your current animal, such as the fancy manatee, or you can choose a new animal to go with your fancy title. You will get one sketchy token
What?
that will allow you to change another player's bet. So say you're in a close
All
race
I want to do is change Blood's pet.
with another player.
That's all I want.
You bet the same number, you can change their bet.
All I want is that token.
You're going to use that
I don't
however you
care.
like.
You change their
Oh
bet.
my God.
Can you change it upon hearing the result? Like on the day, like if you find out
Yeah.
that they win,
I think
can
so.
you?
Oh.
you
It's a
would've-
sketchy token.
Woo! That's a good. That's a good prize.
You earn it though for the next season. You can use it or what?
2025.
That'll be the 20. Yeah, you'll get it for next season.
Because the winner of this year, you know.
Yeah. The winner will pick a game, and everyone else has to draw box art for it. I can't show this on stream, but Parasite Paladin sent a photo of an Elder Scrolls box with a hand-drawn humanoid scroll that was sporting a cane and a mustache.
Elder Scrolls.
The Elder
very
Scrolls.
That's very funny.
And finally, the winner will get an illustration of their mascot animal by Sarah Knight.
Whoa!
Oh, so nice.
Like a wet hummingbird.
Yeah. Now, if you lose,
Uh-oh.
if you get the lowest score of the year, you will have to stream one of the lowest rated games of 2024,
Nice.
chosen by our patrons,
Very fun.
for 3 hours.
Oh my
That's it?
god.
That's it?
You will then need
With a low effort costume.
to write a 2-page story written from the perspective of one of the game's NPCs.
Not the protagonist.
The stakes were just
I
escalated.
don't like
This
these
is
stakes.
fantastic.
Which you will need to read on this podcast before
my
the end of January 2025.
Is that double spaced? 2 pages double spaced?
Single space.
Okay.
Default settings.
Okay.
Google Docs. Default settings.
I'm gonna make my periods one size font bigger. You'll never know.
So there we go.
Oh,
Those
no.
are the stakes
Oh, no.
for a full year of bets.
Those are good, Blood. I like that.
Very, very good.
Now this week's bet. Bot Fight Club.
Hell yeah.
Tekken 8 is out next week. You can do CPU versus CPU matches. I will start a CPU match between Kuma and Panda.
Tekken 8 is out next week.
Yes.
See, 2024 is crazy.
They'll be on ultra hard difficulty on a random stage.
Oh, I forgot
Which
about
one of them will win, and how long will the match take?
real life time from go to the end of KO.
Go till
From go to KO. Yeah.
Stealthy Centipede. What do you say?
I'm gonna say Kuma. 91 seconds.
Okay.
91 seconds. We're on very hard, right?
Ultra
Ultra
hard.
hard.
Ultra hard. They're gonna be coming in swinging.
And you're stopping the time. You're not counting like the end replays or anything. Just stop.
They're not going to do any render replays, but it will
Okay.
be straight from go till the
To
end.
KO. From
Everything,
fight to
any
KO.
little
Yeah.
cinematics, all that stuff counts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought
We're
it was
not going to be
just
pausing the timer.
Wait, but
Yeah,
is
I
it
know,
from
but
fight?
it's just
When
from
it, yeah,
fight
it's when
to
it starts.
KO.
Fight.
to
Right,
KO.
but
KO,
not
yeah.
like intro banter.
Right, right, right.
And not
Okay,
the
okay,
little
okay.
celebration
yeah, yeah,
pirouettes.
Yeah,
or
when it would
whatever.
be playable
From
if there weren't
fight to
GPUs.
KO.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Wet Hummingbird.
I said Kuma, 1 minute 12 seconds.
Okay.
A little under Huber.
Pompous Cocker Spaniel.
I went with Kuma in 52 seconds.
The Kuma love.
The
I'm
Kuma
loving
love,
this.
dude. The Kuma love.
Yeah.
Kuma hype.
Panda's a poseur, dude.
Fashionable Manatee.
Panda 65, it looks like.
Panda, 65
Why is
seconds.
he-
He's
P
not
over
pushing
there.
the button, so we can't hear him speak, but
P65.
P65, P65.
Optimistic Rat.
Sit. Hike.
One round.
No,
It's,
No.
it's 3
entire
rounds.
I said Kuma, 4 minutes, 9 seconds.
Holy smokes.
4
4
minutes.
minutes,
9.
9 seconds.
This is an epic battle.
I hope they just stand there staring at each other for a
Yeah.
while.
that timer better be on infinity.
And
Oh, good point. You have to
We
set
gotta
the
set the
timer
timer
to
to
infinite.
infinity.
it's no, it's
Oh.
just its default timing.
Well, then
Which
it
is
can't be
60
4.
seconds.
You
That's
never
not fair.
told
That's
us
not
that.
Fair. That's not fair.
I didn't tell you a lot of things.
Just put it on infinite.
I didn't
No,
tell
I mean,
you a lot
common,
of things.
Common,
90 seconds is the...
yeah, it's like normal.
No, it's 6. Did they go back to 97? Was 6.
But then Gabby doesn't have a chance, I don't think.
I don't know how long each
I don't
round
know how you
is.
divide
None of us know how long each round is.
No,
That's kind of
no.
the point.
But yeah,
All right.
We just said it was 3 rounds.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, but then 2 rounds.
well,
is
3
only
they have to
3
win 3
minutes.
rounds. They could go back and forth. So.
Gabby gets the high.
It actually
Gabby's
could
got the-
happen.
Gabby's got the
Gabby's
high.
got
if,
the
if
high.
they go 5 rounds, then
It could be a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it could go 5.
yeah.
All right.
It would go to the
right.
5th round. Yeah.
And I went with Kuma 245, which means the panda wins that thing. Don
So
Scott.
Don's the only panda.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
if the panda wins, it all Don wins.
Jackpot.
Fashionable manatee.
What a move.
Last week's bet.
Should have picked panda.
Turnip Boy Robs a Bank comes out next Thursday, January 18th.
It's a great title.
That was today, I mean. I looked through the top English reviews on OpenCritic. How many times I would find the words veggie or veggies. 2 little qualifiers here. We discussed Veggieville, which is a proper noun,
One word, not intercapped.
would not be included because it's a proper noun and that's a name.
Great.
Also, no pull quotes. It was the same thing, and they just made it bigger to presentation-wise. That did not count.
Oh, so you're not counting it twice.
Right, we're not counting the same quote
Right,
twice.
right.
because it
That
just
makes
gets the
sense.
pull quotes,
That's
yeah.
just a
Need this,
formatting
need
thing.
this,
The
need
writer
this.
didn't put it in twice.
Yeah.
Every win counts.
All right.
I forgot we're all individual now. I'm so
Yep.
stressed.
Stealthy Centipede bet 2 veggies.
Come on, two veggies.
Pompous Cocker Spaniel bet 5. Wet Hummingbird also bet 2. Fashionable
Come on,
Manatee
2.
bet
go
3.
2.
Optimistic Rat bet 10. And Effervescent Hippopotamus myself, I put 6.
1 or 2.
IGN
Yeah.
had 2.
Fuck.
PC Gamer had 1.
Fuck you.
Shaq News had 0. Attack of the Fanboy had 0. God is a Geek had 0. Rock Paper Shotgun had no veggies.
Who said 3?
Gaming Trend had no veggies.
I think Dawn.
I said 5. What did I say? 5? I'm
CG
still in this.
Magazine had 1.
Oh,
4.
Game Grin had 1.
Damn it.
The Switch Effect, no veggies. That means the total
4?
is 5.
5?
And the winner is Damiani, the Pompous Cocker Spaniel. Bringing our top 2 scores to Stealthy Centipede, 1. I don't know if that's even audible.
Do it grosser.
And Pompous Cocker Spaniel 1.
Magnificent. Magnificent.
Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. Everything that we do is because of people that support us, people that listen to us and watch us and want to keep this podcast and this channel going. You get all kinds of different rewards at different tiers. At $5, you get this podcast 2 days early. You get it ad-free. You get 2 bonus Love and Respect questions. You get to submit to Love and Respect. You get to put in suggestions for the wrong question. And you get in that Discord with our top 10s and all kinds of discussions on all kinds of things and food photos and all kinds of fun stuff. $10, you get in our contributor tier where you get community showcase and you get to vote on Stream Team. $25 and up are our producer tiers, and our platinum producers there get shout-outs every week. And this month's shout-outs go to Jabwebs, Elthanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Jesse Blue, and Raymond Wheeler III. Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
All right. Some promotions. Tuesday is our Game of the Year celebration. It's going to be different. We're sort of blending our old style with our personal picks, doing a newish thing. We'll go over it all at the intro in the beginning. It's going to be fully live this year. And then afterwards we'll do our little written video that will go up probably like sometime in a week later or something like that. That will be at 4 o'clock Pacific time on Tuesday. And then we'll also have the patron Game of the Year in there as well. So you can get in there and vote on that too.
On every category. Almost
Yeah.
every category that we're doing.
Yeah.
So at the end of each one, we'll be like, and the patrons picked this.
Isla, you guys just did your Fantasy Critic video.
Yeah, we did.
Damiani, your show has a name now.
Yep. Solo queue.
What?
Still. What?
What?
Who took Rebirth?
Jones, I think? It was the first drafted game.
Got it.
All of us were going to draft it first.
Sorry.
So-
Sorry, Damiani. Start from the top.
Solo queue.
Oh, yeah. The new show. Sorry, I'm now throwing through a loop. Sorry. Blood just asked what the name is, right? Were you going?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Damiani has a new show happening on the weekends. Solo queue. This week will be on Sunday. If you happen to catch this before it goes up, that'll be live and then go up as a VOD a couple days later. And then Reaction Shots has its own channel now.
Oh, yeah.
Spinning off.
Yeah, we spun off onto a Patreon simply because we're trying to focus Easy Allies into being gaming content, mainly gaming content focused, and it has shown that variety on YouTube in the current meta, YouTube punishes you for that. The algorithm doesn't like it. So we love Reaction Shots. We wanted to keep doing it. We're streamlining Easy Allies anyway to try to focus on that kind of more gaming content. And so we were like, well, heck, let's just make a thing. And we did. So patreon.com/reaction shots. Check it out. $3 is the only tier. You get in on the discussions and our film club Discord. Shout out to those who have joined. It's been really nice so far. And some people were reading the tea leaves a little intensely on that. I don't think it's a harbinger of any ill, news. I just think it makes good sense to have it be its own thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got Matthew Walden in there.
Hell yeah, Matthew Walden's a permanent co-host now, and we're gonna try to have guests when I can get them. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be fun.
And then Don's also got a personal channel out there for funsies. Got some Papusa reviews up there.
Papusa.
And then, Don, what's the name of your channel?
Oh, thanks, Blood. I didn't know I was getting a shout out. The channel is Dontentle, or is it Dontentle? I'm not sure. It's
What?
Dontentle.
Okay, so you have a limited edition tent, is what you're telling me.
Dontentle.
Got it.
Or Dontentle. One of the two.
It's your channel.
That's how you
Why
spell
don't you
it.
know how to say it?
Damiani, you get to shout out an underdog, you get the final word, and you get to sign off with your trademark. Sign off.
I already forgot the underdog thing. What is that again. Sorry.
It can be anything that you want that you think would be potentially could get some extra attention. So it could be a game. It could be somebody that you like. I don't know. Publisher.
Okay.
Movie. TV show.
But are they under? Like, that's the thing. I don't. And
Yeah,
as
it's
much
an
as you want
implicit
the video-
insult to include anyone in the internet.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll find something else. We'll see.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wasn't prepared for that. Does anyone else have one? I can defer. Someone has something they're really passionate about.
A League of Their Own.
The show or the movie?
Yeah, the show. Or Our Flag Means Death. They got canceled, but
Oh,
HBO,
yeah.
HBO sends their blessings if they get picked up somewhere else.
We're getting
How's
that
that?
extra season though for League of Their Own.
Yeah, the little bonus
That's a
episodes.
pretty
Did
good
they do
one.
that already?
Not yet.
And still get the final word and you sign off.
Final word. Yeah, can't wait to cheese the shit out of everything with Indiana Jones's whip in that game.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna I don't know how it's exactly gonna work, but it's gonna be fun. And until next time, may the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
Thanks, Todd. Fuck.